Welcome, everybody, to
Yo.
Live and Learn, the only show. I'm a host, the Soy Pill. With me, as always, is Hutch, IRI, and Pisco. Welcome, everyone, and give a special shout out for no guest today. There's no guest.
I prefer without
How's
a
everyone
guest.
doing?
I prefer when it's just us.
Wow. Yeah, fuck all those other people, right?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I am much better now.
I saw the debate that you participated in with those lawyers, man.
Oh yeah, I mean,
That was pretty embarrassing for them.
Well, it wasn't just embarrassing, Pisco. It was embarrassing for me because I had to study so much, and I was like, "Damn, I'm going against these smart lawyers. I better know what I'm talking about." And then I discovered that they're total grifting hacks and don't know anything. So, what a waste of time.
Lawyers ain't shit, man.
Yeah,
I just don't know why people have this like opinion of lawyers that they're this vaunted class. I think they ain't shit.
yeah. I'll be the first to say lawyers suck. Am I right, Pisco?
I will be the second person to say that. How you doing, Hutchie? Hutch, I kind of we need to have a debate about the Ethan Klein thing at some point. People are clamoring for it.
I saw your take. I mean, it seems like your only issue with it was the stated intention. You don't find that sincere, but you found the merits of the case to be sound, or I mean, fuck it. Let's just unpack it now.
Yeah.
Like, why not? What?
Let's start off. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I'll
Wait,
moderate
really?
this debate because I know nothing about it, so I can only be a third-party observer.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Well,
Wait,
Drama Monday.
Before you start, Guy, do you know anything about this Ethan Klein drama slop? Oh, you're muted.
Oh, you're muted, buddy.
Oh, you're muted.
Sorry. Okay. No, I don't know anything. It just seems like he horrifically embarrassed Casey Tron, and I don't think anyone's going to mess with Ethan Klein ever again.
Okay, so the way this will work then is you guys go, and at the end of this, Guy and I are the impartial, we don't know anything voters, and we'll decide who wins because we don't know anything. All right. So, are you guys ready?
I think we've already.
You know your line. You know shit.
I literally don't. I super don't give a shit about any of this, so I don't know anything.
It doesn't need to be like a whole lot.
Well,
I know. It's a mini thing, but
put a timer on it.
Yeah, we'll go to 4:15.
10 minutes.
Ready?
Yeah, put a 5-10 minutes.
It just to me it kind of seemed like you were nitpicking a little bit, just like you were being kind of nitpicky.
Wait, can we get the background for the viewers? Can you explain the situation?
What do you mean by nitpicking? Like it's like.
Well, hold on. Just for context, I'm sure probably.
I think there's a lag. I'm not trying to interrupt you.
Is there a lag for me, or is there a lag for you?
It's for Pisco because I'm hearing you in real time.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure. Yeah, your video looks a little grainy, so I'm not sure if it's a connection thing. But no, Ethan Klein. So I mean, most people probably know of this drama. He decided that he was going to pursue litigation against Casey Tron, Denims, and Frogan for copyright infringement. He did a content nuke, registered it as a copyright. I'm not sure how that process goes. And then the through line between those three was that they were pretty openly malicious when they were watching the content. They were basically stating their intention to siphon views, which, you know, I'm not going to pretend like I know anything about the law. Pisco, why don't you like break down how, I mean, are you familiar with that kind of law or litigation? Do you feel like Ethan Klein has a pretty sound case of malicious intent?
Well, I don't know. There's no like cause of action for malicious intent. And so this kind of like malicious intent thing is just a social thing that people have been bringing up. I don't understand it to be like grounded in any like legal concept of malicious intent or anything like that. So it's not a cause of action for malicious intent, but he has a strong claim for copyright infringement. And I've always maintained that. What my position is, which I don't think is nitpicking, is that he's like lying about why he sued. And now I think that he's lying about the settlement and about what Casey Tron said. And specifically, I think he's lying. Well, I'll ask you, do you think that the Casey Tron apology, did you watch it, Hutch?
Yes, I did.
Do you think it was sincere?
Probably not. I would say probably most of it was not sincere. Yeah.
And to just a context,
so you would agree, therefore, that
like a forced apology or like a contractually obligated apology to Ethan Klein, right?
Yeah, like a settlement apology, like that was negotiated by the parties, and I'm sure the wording was chosen and crafted and negotiated, just like all the other terms of the contract, which is, you know, settlement is a contract.
Yeah. My opinion on the
So my question is like, wait. Can I ask what I was going to ask?
Sure. Yeah.
Ethan said it was a very sincere apology and that everyone should leave her alone because of how sincere the apology was. Do you think that that's a lie?
I think he's being petty, and I think it's for entertainment.
Is he so he's lying? And when he says that it's a sincere apology and everyone should stop going after her, you agree that he's lying about that?
I mean, I think it's all for LOLs. Like, I don't think it's that serious. I think like
But he's
like
not
I feel
being
like
serious when he.
I feel like his fans know that he can be very, very petty, and he can hold a grudge, and so it's all kind of just for spectacle, right?
Okay. Well, I don't know that that's the case, because he's also appealing to her issues. So, for example, he and Hila were saying, you know, it's just such an unfortunate situation that she's in, that like it's so crazy and sad that she's having to go through this, and Hassan won't even help her out. So I looked at their demeanor. It seemed like they were trying to pass off that they actually cared about and related to her financial situation in that case. And it seems like you're not going to say that he lied. You do maintain that it wasn't sincere, and I'm telling you, he says it's sincere. So that seems to be a lie. Is there a reason that you're like shying away from the word lie?
To me, I don't care. Like, if you want to say it's insincere or a lie, I really don't know. You'd have to ask him. Maybe they found their way to have some sympathy for her. I'm not sure. You'd have to talk to them. I haven't asked them directly about how they felt about it. My whole thing was that I feel like that community in particular got so incredibly toxic with Ethan and his family, and it escalated and it graduated into new, like, very, very serious territory once the CPS stuff started happening, or once that did happen, and then like all of their collective communities decided to dogpile after the fact. That to me was such a significant escalation that I saw his actions with respect to the litigation to be commensurate with that. Like, I feel like that was his way of striking back. But yeah.
Do you have any reason to believe that these people were involved in that, in any of the stuff that you're talking about? That, for example, let's take Casey Tron, for example, that Casey Tron was responsible for what you're talking about?
No, I didn't say that she's responsible for the CPS call, but they all dogpiled on after the fact. They were all cracking jokes about it. And you would agree, right, that it's a pretty significant thing when the government shows up at your door and potentially forces you to prove.
I agree, it's significant.
Yeah. So I think like what he did was a response to that. And I think that, I'm glad that they settled. I was somewhat sympathetic to her. But I'm glad that she doesn't have to have her wages garnished for the rest of her life.
So in summary, you don't care if Ethan Klein is lying about any of this? You don't care if he's lying about whether he believes the apology from Casey Tron, whether he believes it's sincere, whether he's actually motivated to protect the React community? You think that that's nitpicking, that you don't actually care about the motivations for why people sue?
Well, I mean, it just seems like you were making a bigger deal of the motivation than the reason for the lawsuit to begin with.
Do you care about the motivations why people sue? Do you care if he's lying about stuff? I'm just going to repeat the question, Hutch, if you don't answer it.
Not particularly, no. Because again, I think this is all kind of like...
So for example, so suppose that you reacted in full and you just kind of did like a chill little react stream to Tim Pool and my conversation. And then Tim Pool copyright sues you and says something like, well, I heard Hutch say some shit about the Russia stuff and I didn't agree with him. I don't like him. And so I'm suing him to protect the React community and to do a bunch of obvious lies. Would you care about that, other than the fact that you're being sued? You think that would be wrong to do?
I'm not sure. Would you care, like, in what respect? I don't understand the question.
In the respect of, don't you think it would be wrong to lie in that context for Tim Pool in this hypothetical to claim that it's a broader purpose and claim that he's just trying to protect content in the community, but in reality it's just to fuck with you because he said something that you didn't like?
I do think it's a little bit of both, because he was sort of sounding the alarm about this when he was going at it with XQC. Like he's been going out, like he's had a thing for sort of like malicious React content for a really long time. So he's kind of consistent in that regard. But the fact that these particular creators had dogpiled onto him and his wife after CPS was called and they were cracking jokes about it, making light of it, it's like both things are relevant to me in the analysis.
So Hutch, I'm not asking you about what's going on. You understood that I was asking you a hypothetical there, right?
Yeah.
I didn't ask you about like what actually is motivated. I gave you a hypothetical.
In this hypothetical, am I saying
if it's the case that if it's the case that it's a purely the rationale is completely abjectly like not at issue, do you think that that would be wrong to pretend that that's the motivation? I gave you a hypothetical, not what actually occurred.
To me, I don't really care, because in this hypothetical, would I be saying, hey guys, watch me watch this Tim Pool thing so we can deprive him of a view? Like, would I have given him ammunition to sue me for ostensibly some other
Whether
purposes
you
as well?
have or not is this reminds me a little bit of the Jordan Peters thing. But I did have breakfast. We're trying to get to what we care about, right? And so the reason why I'm isolating this and giving you a stylized example with Tim Pool is because it's your claim that you don't give a shit about the motivations, the rationales. And so I'm trying to isolate that factor to show actually, maybe if this was against you or a person that you didn't quite like suing, maybe actually you would care about the motivation and whether they're misrepresenting it. But I would never, it feels like you're fighting the hypothetical.
But I would never do something as stupid as tell my audience, hey guys, watch me watch it so we can deprive Tim Pool of a view. That's just idiotic. Like, they made themselves so vulnerable by doing
whether you would or not, it's a hypothetical. Why are you fighting it?
Yeah, Hutch, even though, again, I super don't care, I would say just, like, regardless of whether or not you would, what is your motivation here and the motivation of Ethan? I think it matters a little. Like, what would you do in this situation?
If I was dumb enough to say, hey guys, watch me watch Tim Pool, like, I don't know. I feel like it's difficult for me to engage in the hypothetical because I wouldn't do something that fucking dumb.
Okay. Then let's. If it's so difficult to engage the hypothetical, let me change it. One last thing, and I know we have a time limit here.
Yeah.
Suppose that it were the case that Ethan said, "I'm suing these people because fuck them, because I want them to financially suffer, and I want to ruin them financially," and that was the motivation. Would you give a fuck?
I mean, it's not something that I would do personally.
Well, no, okay, but would you think it's a good or a
I'm
bad
not asking whether you would personally do it. I'm asking whether you think it's good or bad.
I don't know how to apply labels to these kinds of things.
What? Wait, okay. Now I kind
of know how to judge something.
Like a very easy, like, moral question, Hutch. Do you think it's okay to sue people because you want to financially ruin them?
Well, I don't know. It really depends on the circumstances, right? Like, what did that person do to me?
Is there a Ethan Klein sniper like pointing at your forehead right now? Like, I'll say it. Yes, it depends. I think in this situation, I don't know enough about what happened to Ethan, but like, I don't think it's inherently wrong to sue someone to try to financially ruin them.
All right, can we pause for a second? Is it not possible that Ethan was motivated by two things? That he has been consistently pushing against what he would call like malicious React content, where you basically just do no effort, don't do any kind of reaction, and basically just steal content, that he could be motivated by both that and personal grievance?
You ask, is it possible?
Yeah.
And I understand an is it possible question. I mean, is it logically possible?
Well,
by which I mean, does it entail a contradiction?
Does it look plausible to you that it could be both?
No, it does not look plausible to me. It does not look plausible to me at all.
And time. That's the drama slop segment of Lib and Learn.
I'm gonna
IRI.
I'm gonna refresh to see if I can fix what's going on.
Oh, okay, cool. But all right,
I'm gonna refresh my things to rejoin. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Based on that 10-minute conversation, RI, who won the Ethan Klein drama slop debate?
Not enough time passed for a winner to be declared, in my opinion. I have no idea what. I don't know the merits of either side. I have no idea.
Okay. Well,
all I know is Casey Tron was horrifically embarrassed. Doesn't matter if she believed what she read or not. The fact that she had to read it was just tragic to watch. It was pretty sad. I don't know if anything was accomplished by that, but I mean, you can't fuck with these big boys who have money. Like, this is kind of like America in a nutshell. If you got money, you can bring almost anyone to their knees, man.
Yeah, there's that excellent John Oliver segment on slap suits where it's like they're just using it to silence people. It's because I can afford litigation and lawyers, I'm gonna make your life a living hell regardless of whether or not I'm justified in doing so. And I think that's potentially a bad thing. We should do something about it. I have no idea what the Ethan Klein circumstances are, and
Yeah,
honestly, don't care.
but these Casey Tron and them needed to be smarter about how they went after him, and they failed miserably, so they can't really cry foul.
Yeah, I
in
mean,
my
like
opinion.
Hutch said, they literally said, "I'm going to do the illegal thing," like, on a
Right.
live stream, so it's like,
Right.
alright, like, it's our
That's not even the worst thing for me. Like the worst thing for me, it was the dog pile. Like I don't know, Guy, if you're aware that CPS got called on Ethan's like kids, and like the government showed up to his home, and like I'm not accusing. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, like, you can't control everybody in your audience doing crazy shit, right?
No, I'm not. To
Unless
be clear,
it was
I'm not.
encouraged by the creators.
To be clear, I'm not accusing those creators of like orchestrating that. I do think that Denims was like wildly irresponsible. There's one particular stream where she was sort of like implying that it was justified and this sort of thing, but like the massive dog pile that space, like all the creators in the Hassan orbit did with Ethan and Hila was like one of the most disgusting things that I've seen in all my years on the internet.
I think Denims has turned out to be a real dumb fuck with some of the things she said. She was praising Osama bin Laden's manifesto on her stream, and then hearing that she's praising CPS getting called on somebody's ridiculous. So she just sounds like a real dumb fuck.
All right, you heard it here, folks. We are pro Denims is dumb on Live and Learn. I'm happy we got to.
Well, it just shows you that not the smartest people don't always rise to the top. In fact, some of the most mentally unwell people tend to become the biggest streamers out there. You kind of have to be a bit mentally unwell to become a giant streamer.
I was going to say, while we're stirring the pot, I always wonder who's watching Azamon Gold. Why is he so big? So
it's probably just a lot of young guys, I would assume. I would assume his target demo is like 25 and under.
Yeah. I was going to wait for Pisco to get back because I wanted to talk about, politics, but do you guys want to start with Jasmine Crockett?
Yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, I'm so curious what Guy thinks, because you're always the optimist, and so I wonder if you're super optimistic that she can win against Paxton specifically, I guess.
Well, supposedly she has internal polling that shows she can win the whole thing, win the primary, win the whole thing. She's definitely a wild card. She gets people excited who otherwise wouldn't give a damn. So James Tallarico had like a kind message basically welcoming her into the race. So I think it's going to be sort of a friendly contest. And then whoever wins is going to support the other person and have this fired up base that perhaps a lot of people who otherwise wouldn't have given a damn will now get behind the other candidate. So perhaps it's sort of a strategy to unite as many people in Texas as possible. At the same time, she's burning the boats when she does this. She is not running for re-election in Congress. So this is it. She will not be in the House of Representatives after this Congress. So this is it. She's all in.
Well, Guy, if I'm not mistaken, the redistricting prevents her from winning her seat, right? Like, so she wouldn't.
Yeah, they chopped up 3 seats into 2, and she's one of those 3. So it would be a battle between 3 of them. Yeah. So she stepped down, and now it's those 2 are going to be able to chill and not have to fight.
Well.
Yo, can you hear me better now? Is it laggy?
We can hear you better. Can you hear us without a delay, Mr. 480 Pisco?
Was it just me that you heard it? No, it doesn't. Okay, it looks like you're good now. Yeah. All right, Guy just shared his thoughts. Pisco, what are your thoughts on Crockett in the Senate race? Yeah,
I think that I was a little bit. Laksa really convinced me that Jasmine couldn't win, and I think that IRI. I think this is going to be IRI's position and let him duke it out, right? That was your position, and let's see who's stronger.
No. He thinks that. I don't know if you heard what he said, but he thinks that he basically said he thinks it could be a healthy primary. He doesn't think it's going to be like a blood sport between Tallarico and Crockett, and so the primary is just going to make the candidate stronger. Is what I took from what he said.
Yeah, I think I made a mistake last time when I was shitting on Crockett. I think I did exactly what I was warning against in just assuming that like I know the best for who's going to be better in the general. And so at this point, I think that I take IRI's position. I want to like sort of cut back on what I said the previous episode when I was shitting on her. I don't know who's going to be better. I don't really know enough to say that I know that it shouldn't be her.
I'm fully willing to admit and bite the bullet that all of my skepticism is vibes based. I feel like she doesn't play well insofar as, people are racist, people hate women. But you know what? If the polling says she's going to win, fuck yeah. Like I say, let's go for it. Like, I have no
Well,
other counter data to that. So
internal polling that nobody has seen, and that goes.
Yeah. Speaking of polling, I mean, the polls that I've seen, I've seen a couple polls where Allred and Tallarico were competitive with Paxton specifically. As soon as it becomes another stronger Republican, then it becomes a much tougher race. But Paxton is an exceptionally weak candidate, it appears. And with the hypothetical matchups, I saw Crockett down like 9 against Paxton. And so I don't know. For me, it's not vibes based. It was definitely based on data. And then to what Pisco said, Laksha pointing out that she's like this super partisan Democrat. I mean, she's only running in a seat that was like D plus 50, I think. Like, she's never actually run in a competitive race in Texas against a Republican. And we've seen Republican primary voters choose the worst candidate you could possibly imagine and throw like over a dozen winnable races just in in this entire era of Trump. And I'm just afraid that Democratic primary voters are going down the same path right now with both Crockett and Plattner in Maine. And so I don't know. I don't think she's very competitive. I really think Tallarico's, like, I don't know if you guys have seen his campaign ads? No. Okay.
No.
Well, I think like that is
No.
I think what he's doing like is a really smart strategy for Texas, because he's emphasized he likes to do the whole, like, it's not left or right, it's up and down. Like he's very deliberately packaging his messaging in a very nonpartisan fashion, which in a state like Texas, which was like plus 13 for Trump, I think in 2024, or plus 10 or something like that. I feel like that messaging is going to be way more competitive. And Crockett's just going to go in there and be like, fuck Donald Trump, he's a pedophile and whatever. So, yeah.
I saw a suggestion in chat. They said if you watch the launch videos back to back, it's very telling, and we should analyze that. Are you guys interested in doing that?
Yeah,
dude, Tallarico's is like a 5-minute, and it's like a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. It's so good. It's a little lengthy though. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, we could skim it, but keep going while I find these.
I was just want to say, like, I think that my prior would still be that I don't think Crockett will be as competitive. What I'm talking about, Hutch, is though I went really hard on Crockett and was like, kind of, no, we should absolutely not have her. She shouldn't run. We're not ready for that.
That's the correct.
She's too partisan.
That's the correct.
Yeah, but okay, but I think that I said that kind of just relying on Lox's analysis and not doing any of my own thinking. And I think I should have a more, if I'm being honest about like my position, I want to be honest about my position. I should be open to seeing how it plays out in the primary, seeing what she brings to the table, and seeing if she's able to buck the polling. Maybe she's able to gain favorability like Mamdani did, or others, So I know that she's more of a known commodity than Mamdani was, so I understand that position as well. But I just felt I was a little hard on her last episode. That's all I'm saying.
I'm surprised to hear that, Pisco, because I think you can say all the criticisms in the world, not you, but anyone out there can say all the criticisms in the world about Jasmine Crockett, but you can't say she's fake. Like, she is one of the most authentic politicians out there. And I think that's what people are looking for.
Did I say she was fake?
I think it resonates. No, you didn't say it. I'm saying, but I'm just saying that there's something about her that is unique in that not a lot of politicians have that, where she has that credit, that credibility with people.
All right, I got them both up. Who's first, though? Do we want, because I'm just guessing, the Jasmine Crockett one's going to be a little more fiery. Do we want to have that first and then like with the...
Yeah. Do that. Kick it off.
I think it was a little bit, I thought it was a little bit subdued. Maybe I'm thinking about the wrong ad, but go ahead.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, this is her announcing the thing. Or do we want to watch the ad? Because
no,
there's an ad. There's like a specific launch ad.
Can you guys send me the links for both?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll find it. We'll find it for you.
Thank you.
We'll find that shit for you. But it's a race where it's always a reach, and I was kind of excited for Allred to have a competitive shot at it again, because he really did overperform relative to because he ran in 2022. Is that right? Or 2020?
No, last year, and he did a little better than Kamala.
Yeah. And I think that like Beto O'Rourke didn't overperform that much in the.
No, he did.
There was some analysis. Or did he?
No, Beto got within 2 points in Texas. That was crazy.
Percent.
Do you mean like he
Like fucking
overperformed the
governor.
polls? Is that what you're saying?
Overperforming where Biden was at. Wait, was the race in 2018 or was it
2018, I think was
Oh,
Beto.
okay.
Yeah.
How close was the race for Hillary? I forget. I saw someone else. I don't know shit. I shouldn't be talking about this race because I keep getting things wrong.
In Texas?
Yeah.
I think it was like 11.
Yeah. But Beto did crazy good. And then Obama hit him up and was like, yo, you should throw your hat in the race for the Democratic primaries.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then he said he was going to take
9.
people's guns and just destroyed his political career, basically. But
Hell
Trump,
yeah.
Trump won by 9 over Hillary in Texas in 2016.
Oh, then it might have been like the overperformance by Dems was like +8 or something in 2018 or whatever, and he only got within he got like 3, so he underperformed the overperformance. Does that make sense? I mean, maybe that was what I was looking at.
maybe.
But,
Well, Biden did even better. He got within 6.
like yeah,
And then it
within,
reversed
yeah.
last year with
Yeah.
Kamala went back.
Oh, this is what I think it is. Hang on, I think I found it. I think it's on CNN.
Yeah, I think I have the CNN one as well, but it's
Yeah,
give me
it's
a-
her. It's like Trump talking.
It's
Yeah,
Trump.
it's just her
talking?
face.
Wait,
and Trump talking.
she launched her campaign with Trump talking. Is this like a
Yeah.
when Biden launched his campaign? It was a direct.
I think it's pretty cool.
All right.
I
I'll
think it's
say my
different.
judgment. I gotta watch it.
It's in the Discord, and I can put it in this chat as well.
Thank you. So it actually open.
Well, I'm curious also, Pisco, what do you think that she will not be running for re-election? So this is it. She's all in.
Well,
I think
I
that
think
adds
that's
a wrinkle to it as well.
yeah, because I think that she was gerrymandered the fuck out of her seat, right? So I think it's
Mhm.
she's going for broke here. And if
But
she even if she loses,
one of the remaining 2.
oh, I guess so. But maybe there was like maybe those seats are more competitive. I don't know, and they wanted a more. But then why she ran for Senate? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know this shit. Maybe I shouldn't. Yeah.
Well, let's
up
take
this
a
race.
gander. Let's take a gander at this because I haven't seen this yet.
All right.
I can't hear anything.
Oh, you can't hear it? Oh,
No.
Sorry, 1 second.
Oh shit! Is this the wrong link? Fuck.
No. Apparently it wouldn't. Oh, here we go. Also share system audio. I hope it's only showing this. Okay, everyone be quiet just in case it echoes.
Oh man. She's a very low IQ person.
Jasmine Crockett is running for Senate in Texas, and you want to know how much star power she has? Well, the guy who was the front runner in the Democratic
Fuck that
primary
up.
race for
No,
this
wait, this isn't it, is it, Pisco? That was
Yeah,
just
yeah, sorry.
Pisco.
Wait, you can go to her. You can go to. Jesus, the echo. It's crazy. You can go to her Twitter. Hold on.
Oh
Jasmine.
shit!
I feel like
Go
such
to
a
her
boomer looking this up.
Yeah.
fucking Twitter,
Guys,
bro.
We're fucking up. We're fucking up.
We don't
Started
know
with
what
trauma.
He's a low IQ individual. He doesn't know how to look up things on Twitter.
Did she put it for no? Hold on.
Why do they make things so tough? And by they, I mean ourselves.
Here.
You got it.
It's on her Twitter. Yeah. Hold on. Copy link. Private chat. Boom. There you go.
All right. Now let's see if we can make this not echo somehow. I don't know why when I share a window, it doesn't share the audio for the window. It's really silly.
We'll just be quiet.
Everyone shut up. Just shut up. All right.
How about this new one they have? Their new star, Crockett. How about her? She's the new star of the Democrat Party, Jasmine Crockett. They're in big trouble.
But you have this woman, Crockett. She's a very low IQ person.
I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person. Crockett. Oh man. She's a very low IQ person.
Somebody said the other day she's one of the leaders of the party. I said, you got to be kidding.
Now they're going to rely on Crockett. Crockett's going to bring them back.
Oh,
be
I
nothing.
don't like that.
I like that.
I don't.
Wait, oh wait, okay, so you like this. Tell me why you like that.
I don't know, it's just a little different. And I like the focus. You know me, I'm a fucking resistance lib. And so anyone I don't know that it appeals to me. All right, it appeals to me. I'm not gonna say it's the
right, but you know who Jasmine Crockett is. Imagine not.
Yeah.
You see this out on TV.
Well, then you
like,
asked me, do I like it? I like it for myself. It appeals to me because I'm a kind of anti-Trump guy. I'm a never Trump guy. Well, is it the best ad for everyone else? I'm not sure.
But that's the point. I think that ad is good for her in the primary. But if you look at Tallarico's, his was like a general ad. If you watch it, it's
yeah. Let's watch this one now. Where is it? Or do you have that one?
Oh, I thought you had it queued up.
Well, I didn't know if that was the actual one. Is it the one of him, like speaking with the sepia tone filter over it?
Yeah, and then the camera's like slowly panning back. Fuck, where is it? Announcement. Oh, here it is, right here.
Guys, everyone's bullying me because I liked it.
I mean, it was a little, narcissistic, I guess. Like, I know you're a politician, it's your whole thing, but like, if I'm making a run for one of the 50 senators, I want to have a platform. And this is like the thing that progressives have been criticizing for so long is like, oh, you can't just be, I'm not Trump. And it's like, well, there's your ad saying, look, Trump's mean to me. It's like, okay, what the fuck are you running on? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I put it
it's
in the
a teaser.
chat.
It's a teaser. It's just a teaser trailer.
This is the teaser trailer for we'll get the full trailer plot reveal later.
Oh, yeah, wow, you ever see that when they're like about to release a new game or something and they do like a little you see Joel from The Last of Us, or you see some fucking little you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it shouldn't have even been her. It should have been a silhouette. Like, who is this person? Big teaser. Okay, all right. We're gonna do the apparently share audio thing. So give me a second. Oh wait, I can share the.
Someone says, I agree. It's a teaser. All right, I'm winning the debate.
All right. Everyone, no echo.
The biggest divide in our country is not left versus right. It's top versus bottom. Billionaires want us looking left and right at each other so that we're not looking up at them. The people at the top work so hard to keep us angry and divided because our unity is a threat to their wealth and their power. So their social media algorithms and their cable news networks tear us apart. They divide us by party, by race, by gender, by religion, so that we don't notice that they're defunding our schools, gutting our healthcare, and cutting taxes for themselves and their rich friends. It is the oldest strategy in the world: divide and conquer. But we will not be conquered. The biggest...
Bro, it goes on for like another 6 minutes, by the way, and it just slowly pans out the whole time. I'm so Tallarico pilled. I fucking hate populism. I think it's pure brain rot, but I think that I'm excited about him as a candidate in that state.
I was going to say, I thought you would hate this because he's like, look, they're gutting our education and our healthcare. It's like, who's they? It's not the left wing.
Class.
It's the right wing, buddy. Like,
no, but that's good. But that's a good strategy in Texas, though. You know what I mean? Like, I like populism if it means that it'll help us win, but I generally don't like it. That whole thing reminded me of like The Social Network, like the opening like 5 minutes of The Social Network with like that like haunting score that kind of builds in the background.
Yeah, I hated the piano. That's the one part I didn't like, Hutch. I thought the speech was cool or whatever, but the little piano just made it a little, I don't know, it like melodramatic almost.
It's good.
I liked the whole scene of it, but I just didn't like the piano.
Guy, what did you think?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, hers didn't feel as polished as that. It felt like Pisco said, kind of a teaser as something else. I also read that it leaked. It didn't like get released purposefully. So I don't know what's going on there, but definitely feel like we haven't heard her real introduction yet. I was watching some of her speech that she was making before we started, and she was hitting some of the right notes saying, people doubted me before, but I know I can win. And it seems like her strategy is to bring people out who haven't been voting and haven't given a damn. So she's just trying to reach new people. Whereas he's like, hey guys, they're screwing us. And what have they done for you?
Dude, I'm telling you, this guy is a huge asset to the Democratic Party, man. He went into the lion's den. He went into Joe Rogan and sat down for 2.5 hours and actually charmed Rogan, like, he is somebody that can he can get just enough of that cross appeal, I think to help him in a state like that. But in my mind, I'm like, bro, he can be president one day. I don't know. I'm getting a little too wrapped up in the moment, but I think
he's going for cross appeal. She's going for new voters.
Yeah. Well, she's trying to charge up, like supercharge that base, and he's going for, like, I don't know, like he also like weaves in scripture. I mean, he's the son of a pastor. I think he's a pastor himself. And so I don't know if you guys were raised with like the church or anything like that, but he'll kind of like weave the teachings of Christ into a pitch for democratic politics, and I think he does it in a really convincing way. And so I think there's definitely a lot of religious conservatives in Texas. I do think that message potentially could have a lot of appeal. That's why I get excited about that guy. But yeah.
But do you I was going to say, you hate the populism. Like, I didn't know much about Tellerico, and I saw this message and I got immediately upset by it. I was like, that's just not how this is working. Like, anyone like centrist, both sidesing it is kind of, I think, lost at this point. If it works in Texas, great, and I want it to work, but that messaging just ticks me off.
Yeah,
just the mode we're in. So I mean, it's almost like we need to have people who try to sell their worldview in a paragraph. And I don't know that the American people want to hear policy wonks go on and on and on about, it's actually more complicated. It's the global savings gut. And it wasn't just the bankers. It was also the credit rating agencies. Like, if you try to like explain anything in less than a paragraph or more than a paragraph, it feels like you've lost 80% of America. Unfortunate, but true, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. The problem with populism is that it's just essentially a lie at the end of the day. You're just like massively oversimplifying complex problems. And I also think that people that push populist messages get people a little too, there's a lot of false promises, I think, with populism. It makes people think that basically like anything is possible, and there's less of an emphasis on, obstacles when it comes to process and the law. I don't know. I just like populism. I mean, Guy, what do you think about populism just broadly?
Yeah, I think it feeds into this sort of quick fix, instant gratification feeling that a lot of people have nowadays. And so I think you're right. It kind of falsely promises quick solutions. But I'm telling you, there's something about her that is authentic that very few politicians have, that I think she's going to lean into. And maybe that gives her an edge in a place like Texas. I don't know. These are two very different candidates. And that's why I don't think they're going to fight with each other either. I think they're going to bring out people that create a big coalition.
Wasn't there some reporting on her where she felt like she was entitled to committee positions because she had a big social media following? Did you guys read about that?
No.
Didn't read
Yeah. Guess what? I'm more leaning in that camp every day. I think that's. I mean, you laugh, but I think that we need to have the face of the party be people, or like the people who are on these important committees that are going to be getting clips and clip farming. For example, like Judiciary Committee, oversight, all these different that IRI watches very closely, and he gets the best parts of those. They need to be people who are ready for prime time. And so, no, not on the mere basis of your social media following should you be on these positions, but that should definitely now be a consideration. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted AOC to be a ranking member of oversight instead of Jerry Connolly. May God rest his soul.
Pisco, isn't that how we get like Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, and the FBI? Like, these people.
No, really, it isn't, man. No, that's so different. Like Kash Patel, and like, if you're spreading lies and you're a malicious person who is a direction that we don't want, so maybe you can make that assessment for Crockett, that Crockett represents some kind of character flaw or ideological problem that we can't endorse, then I would be with you. But I don't think that mere factoring in one's ability to be good in front of a camera and their social media following, that as a consideration will lead you to Dan Bongino's or Kash Patel's.
I guess
they're just like pandering go for it.
Well, I think I told you last week that the larger the larger a politician's social media following, the less popular that they are. Yeah. And there is kind of a logical reason for that, is because typically the ones with the largest followings are just super partisan. And those typically are, they struggle to get above like 45% nationally. And it's the ones that are just quiet, kind of working in the backgrounds, that don't really have like a big social media following. They tend to have more bipartisan support. And so, yeah, I don't know if it's enough to have a big social media following and have you feel entitled to a committee position. I don't know. I'm skeptical of that.
Yeah, think about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
what
for it.
percentage should this be weighted in? Is it like, hey, this person, in the same way we
I think it should be-
evaluate someone's, charisma, that matters, but like this should not be, hey, this is why I should be on this committee, right?
I think it should be like half, 40 to 50% is your
Half?
ability. Yeah.
To be able to like connect with people on social media, really?
Connect with people on the camera, social media, basically everything that's unrelated to the running of being a member of the committee. And that includes subject matter expertise. That's the other part, the other half. Subject matter expertise, your knowledge of the rules of the various different committees and of the House.
It just seems
So
ridiculous
all
to
of
me that,
that-
like, on things that matter based on merit, like, half of the consideration of your position should be how well you can cater to the generation of people that votes the least, right?
I don't think it's. I have no reason to think that what I'm sort of isolating here is for the young people. That's who you like. This is also for old fucks who actually watch this shit, and for people who are clipping, which I think is more like to the extent that this shit even matters. But I don't think now that we have to just focus on whether you have seniority and whether you're a good parliamentarian. I think those should be less in terms of your ranking for in certain like leadership positions, whether it's on the committee, whether it's in whether you're whip or whatever. I just think that we need to prioritize more, not exclude whether you're a good parliamentarian, whether you're knowledgeable or whatever, but just include significantly your ability to communicate on cameras and to be like marshal social media and to
No, I
cause
agree
a
with
stir.
that assessment. Just still not half.
Okay, 30%, 30,
20,
30.
30. Yeah, all right.
Can we talk about the chaos in the Republican Party right now? I want to talk
do
about
it.
that.
Oh boy, let's do it. Start us off.
I don't know where you guys are at, but over the last, especially like months, basically since the election last month, I've been in my head thinking like, I kind of feel silly in retrospect being so stressed about the state of the Democratic Party, because what we saw was that the Democratic Party is still like extremely strong right now, despite their own internal approval ratings. And it turns out the Republican Party was just like a boiling cauldron of chaos just waiting to explode. And it looks like they are. I don't know if you guys saw reporting, but there are reportedly going to be like 15 to 20 more Republicans announcing their resignation in the next few
shit,
weeks.
I didn't know that many.
Now, don't get your hopes up. I think the ones that are resigning are in pretty safe Republican seats, but I mean, that gives you a sense of like where the party is at right now. And now this whole Nick Fuentes stuff is I don't know. I feel like all that chaos makes the Democratic Party look totally cohesive in comparison. And I
look
think
at what you're asking people to do if to sign up again. You're asking them to be probably out of power in the House, which sucks, as part and defending crazy shit the administration is doing when everyone else is vying for the big job to be the president, and you're just going to be unable to do anything, and basically taking the shit from House Democrats. Probably that's most likely what's going to happen. All the while, like if you step out of line, you could get Trump on your ass, and like Marjorie Trader Brown is, and get fucking death threats and shit.
Love that one.
Who wants that? It's so toxic. It's so, and especially when you're not able to do anything that you're running on, you're basically just being there as a bulwark for Trump at a time when you have no power. It's disillusionment, and I don't know that it's something that most people would want to do.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that Republicans are going to quit. I mean, they see the writing on the wall. They're basically not doing anything right now, and they know they're going to lose the midterms. It's historically the party in the White House loses the first midterm, so being in the minority sucks in the House of Representatives. So I think you're going to see guys kind of jockeying for private sector jobs now and other positions, like Nancy Mace running for governor. So, I think expecting 15 to 20 of them to not run for re-election seems high, but it's probably kind of makes sense with what's going on now. I'm more interested in the high profile ones like Marjorie Taylor Greene. This guy, Troy Nehls from Texas, he quit. He was the only guy who defended not releasing the Epstein files, and then Trump stabbed him in the back days later and said, "Nah, go ahead and vote for releasing the Epstein files, no problem." So situations like that intrigue me, but yeah, I think it's just more evidence that Republicans are about to face a bloodbath in the midterms.
But do you think that do you guys think this civil war and this kind of unpopularity based on how things are going in the country is going to lead them to the Nick Fuentes more radical types, or are they going to pivot back to the center? What are your thoughts?
Did we talk about this last week or no?
A little bit, but I think we can go a little more in depth. And just for some context, I watched recently a video. Shout out to Jose with the little accent on YouTube, made a great video on like the fall of Ben Shapiro and the idea that like this, the bulwark of, or like the main, like, he was the far right back in like 2016, or the mainstream far right, and he manifested and promoted all these crazy people, and then kind of like defended Tucker Carlson, defended all these people. Oh, the left throws this like word around, and now he is like eating his own shit while Nick Fuentes is like overtaking him in views and popularity. And I think they've kind of like made this bed for themselves, and they don't know really how to deal with it. I don't know if that means that these people are going to become politicians or like some America First Party, but this is definitely like going to cause a bigger schism. I think this is not the end of it.
I think it's a huge deal, and I think the Groypers are on the ascendancy, and Fuentes is on the ascendancy. Now, I don't know that it's impossible for them not to gain influence and become more powerful. I think that I can imagine situations perhaps where that wouldn't happen. But let's take just a couple of figures: Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, two of the most influential conservative figures. As far as Tucker goes, I know that they are now beefing with Nick after again or whatever, but Tucker platformed Nick, gave him credibility, and reached new heights in terms of Nick's popularity. And Alex Jones regularly collaborates with Fuentes, and Fuentes is not a pariah figure in the right anymore. He was a pariah figure even in the Trump coalition. Even though he was gaining influence this whole time, people wouldn't talk about him. People wouldn't invite him to shit. That's going to change. I do think that's going to change. And if JD Vance and Trump are walking on eggshells and not really condemning him, that means he's going to be included. It reminds me a little bit, not that I know a ton about Israeli politics, but what people tell me is Ben Gvir and these Kahanis type parties were considered reprehensible in Israeli politics, even among the right, until they weren't, until Netanyahu needed them as part of his coalition to gain power. And then lo and behold, they get power. And so I see a similar trend here where there is something that Fuentes and the Groypers are going to be able to provide to the Republicans that they can't get otherwise. And there's that sort of, I don't know, valve, that kind of like, what's it called when I always lose this word, where there's like a backstop or whatever, like
Release
a
valve?
point of failure. Yeah, something like that, where Fuentes has sway over his audience. He has energy, and he has an ideological core, which is reprehensible, but isn't something that the other people have. And he's able to speak plainly and frankly. That's going to be more and more valuable for him. And Republicans don't seem to have another alternative at the moment. It's not going to be moderating back. There's nothing to go back to. Everyone who was part of that establishment Republican ideological sense, these people have either left the party or they've given up all those values just to serve Trump and hollowed themselves out as mere seekers of power. And so they're not able to speak plainly. And that is what I think Nick is going to be able to, why he's going to be able to ascend.
I think like an analog or like a hypothetical to explore would be just imagine like back in 2020, where you did have like a small fringe element of the left wing in the country that were pushing for like police abolition, prison abolition. And just imagine if Democratic Party leadership, like very eagerly kind of, well, I don't know if you can call it, but like welcome them into the fold and said, we shouldn't ostracize these people. They didn't do that. Like all Democratic leadership took very firm positions. That's, nonsense. We don't believe in rioting. They just, they've been pretty good about like pushing away the fringes the whole time. And what we're seeing with the Republican Party right now is like very much the opposite of that, where you have the vice president of the United States that is hesitant to distance himself or alienate Nick Fuentes, which is just pretty remarkable when you think about it. That alone should give you a sense of the kind of influence that, at the very least, Republican leadership thinks that Fuentes has. The perception is that he has a big enough following that if they were to alienate him, it would be electorally damaging to the Republican Party. And so
and this is a turn, right? Because like, didn't he invite Nick Fuentes and Kanye to like that dinner? Was in his first term.
That was during Biden's presidency.
Right?
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, excuse me, during Biden's
and it
term.
felt more like it was Kanye who was being invited and Nick was a tag along.
Right. And
that's kind of what it felt like to me.
He was like, I don't know who that was, you know, and now it's like, well, I guess
this is different. Yeah. This feels I totally agree with Hutch. I think that it really does seem like they're walking on eggshells. And JD Vance, that's important because if there's anyone who's an heir apparent, it's JD Vance. That's the vice president. That's where everyone seems to be rallying around. And the Groypers and Fuentes already have it out for him, knives out for him, and are demanding concessions and stuff. And so that's not surprising to me that he's taken that road, but that would indicate that he thinks that these people can inflict pain on JD Vance, and he's afraid of that. And that fear gives Fuentes power. He already has it. The question is, can anyone
scare him
take it
into
away?
divorcing his Indian wife and marrying Erica Kirk, though?
No, I don't think that. Well, he's kind of like not standing up for her. Yeah, that's kind of fucked up.
He won't defend her when the racists come for the Indians. I don't know.
He's self-cucking like crazy. Sorry, go ahead, guy.
Well, I've said before, but I think Nick Fuentes is just kind of filling a void right now, a vacuum where he's able to criticize Trump, and it's kind of a safer place for people who are upset with Trump to go on the right instead of coming to the left and holding hands with us. They can hold hands with the right wingers with Nick Fuentes and say, well, it's Israel, it's the deep state, the billionaires, you know, it's just a safer place to go. And they're willing to tolerate the neo-Nazi bullshit, white supremacist stuff. They've been hearing that for a while, so they don't take it so seriously. So for me, that's all that's happening there. But I'm sorry, a guy who said to Pierce Morgan today that he hasn't had sex by the age of 27 is not going to be the leader of the Republican Party moving.
Those are their values.
That's a loser.
Right?
That's what we call a loser.
Wait till marriage, right?
Well, yeah, but that's stupid, and that's not going to resonate with any young people out there. I'm sorry.
No, I don't think he's necessarily going to be like the president. What I'm worried about is his ideological message spreading. It's almost like a social contagion. But I agree with your other point, IRI, that they're getting something that they can't get anywhere else from in a guy who is funny for sure. Let me give you a point of contact. I just put up a debate I had with Viva Frey, and Viva Frey is about as crazy conspiratorial a conservative as you can find. Legit believes in all the conspiracies. He thinks he's a Jewish Canadian lawyer, and he thinks October 7th was a setup by the Israeli state. And so he buys into all of that shit. He doesn't believe the pipe bomber story. He doesn't believe any of this stuff. He is, when I talk to him, I'm like, well, do you think that Trump is corrupt? Do you think that like Pam Bondi is corrupt? He's pulling his punches because so many of these influencers are scared. Their power is access to certain people, to certain politicians, to the White House, their friends. And so they're able to, get more news coverage and get great opportunities through these kinds of connections. But that means that they cannot actually criticize Trump with full force and in like a consistent fashion. Even the crazy ones, right? Even the crazy ones. And even Marjorie Trader Brown, she was like, even when she was criticizing on the Epstein stuff, it isn't until like mostly recently that she's being a little bit, letting the punches slip through. But in general, she was like a huge Trump supporter, and her criticisms were incredibly mild. And that's why I think there's been this appetite to get something that's more authentic and to actually reflect a criticism, because Trump is not doing a good job, even under their own lights, even in terms of like stamping out the corruption in the deep state on their own terms. He's fucking up. He's getting distracted. He's putting in incompetent people, and no one can speak plainly because they're all scared except for the gripers.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say two things. One, Pisco, just on that point, you said you watched my lawyer debate, and I think one of us asked him, if Trump punched a baby, would that be bad? And he had to stop and think for a second, and then he said, anyone punching a baby would be bad. And it's like exactly what you're describing of like, they can't come out and say, yes, I would condemn Trump in that sense, because they know, like, they're not stupid.
Kind of like Hutch and Ethan. But that's totally correct, and everything like that. You could say, so if Trump took a bribe and said, I'm doing this for a corrupt purpose, would you say that's bad? And they'd be like, I'd have to know all the facts. I'd have to wait and see. Like that is really where we're at. That's a perfect example.
But my second point to that is, Trump actually might be pivoting to appealing to these people. I don't know if you saw recently, he made a tweet that mentioned and this is like, if you've ever heard this act, and Ryan Getty is in the chat, he'll know, the 1965 Hart-Celler Act, which is what like changed our immigration laws and allowed more non-white people in. Every single one of these crazy racist people are all up on, this is the decline of America. And Trump retweeted something,
and it's so stupid. Because I've heard Nick Fuentes talk about this before. The Hart-Celler Act is just the modern incarnation of the INA, and it's exactly the opposite reason, right? So the way that Fuentes and I guess now Trump will portray it, it's another lie. They'll say the whole purpose of the INA and the Hart-Celler Act was to get in migration from the third world, and that's why we have these unlimited family-based visas, the green cards that have no cap to it. When it was precisely the opposite purpose, right? The purpose of having unlimited family-based visas was to encourage white immigration from Europe because there were already a bunch of white people in the country. The logic of a lot of these drafters was explicitly racist to get more white people into the country. They wanted more relationships with people from Europe to come in here. They shot themselves in the foot because the white immigration was coming down and other forms of immigration were coming up. And then those other forms of immigration, not from like white European countries, were starting to have families and stuff. And then they could take use of the unlimited visas from the green cards. But that's another area where they've completely distorted history to make this seem like it was a DEI policy when it was precisely like one of the main impetuses there was racist policy to support white people. But now they have the narrative, and that narrative is going to be, carried through. Now even Trump is saying that. That shows you, because I've heard Fuentes talk about this for over 5-6 years. Back way he was talking about Hart-Celler Act, and it's a complete lie, complete fabrication, no evidence. And now even Trump is retweeting it. So it's having its effect. He is gaining power as we speak. He's never been stronger than he is now.
Going back to what you said earlier, because I think you hit on something that I fucked with a lot, which was like, I don't think I know there's a lot of black pill about the state of America right now and the state of its voters. I do think that the type of people that Nick Fuentes appeals to is still like very, very limited. I think the potential danger more comes down the line if his movement continues to grow and grow and grow. And to your point, like, I don't think we're going to see a lot of just open groypers elected to Congress, but the fact that the Republican leadership are afraid of them makes me afraid that they're going to get policy concessions. Like, they're going to try to court the groypers without necessarily like elevating them to positions of power. And you can do a lot of damage. You can do a lot of damage with that.
I guarantee you the H-1B visas thing with like is going to come up where like they're going to attack some sort of legal immigration for non-white people in a way that seems palatable and dog whistly. Like, oh, this is, hurting American workers specifically from this country of brown people. Like, that is going to come from a non-groyper politician. You're exactly right, Hutch.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think they're kind of fucked right now because I think their calculations are correct. I think if they do like push them out of the party, then that's going to be really good for Democrats if they do that. And so I don't know. I just feel like the Republicans right now they're so fucked right now. Like, they're so unbelievably right now. Like, how can they pull themselves out of this mess that they're in? Now, 4 years from now, I don't know. Like, you never know. Like, once Trump's gone and maybe somebody else comes along and some big event happens that we can't predict or whatever. Nobody can predict that far ahead, but at least in the short term until 2028, like, I not only feel good about the midterms, I feel like really good about 2028 right now.
Even after Tennessee, where we didn't win, Hutch?
She was like, bro, she was super far left, man. She was super far left. And
I'm being a little facetious. Like, the point swing was pretty big from the 22 points ahead he was. We didn't win, but it was still like, ooh, this is still not looking good for you guys. The fact that that was like a really big overperformance. I think it was like 13 points, which is right around the average, I think, for all the special elections right now.
It is.
But the fact that she is very, very far left. She was like pushing prison abolition and police abolition on her social media account like 2 years ago. So this is,
it's
this
still
is
the people want that. The people want it. And it contributes to the retirements as well. If the overperformance, people are scared of their seats, contributes to the overretirements. Guy, you were going to say something.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not intimidated by Fuentes. I think the bigger he gets, eventually his group will turn on him too, because he's already starting to try to moderate his views. Like, I believe he was asked, "Do you hate all Jewish people or something?" He was like, "No." And so he's kind of like wiggling now, and I think he's going to get purity tested by his own movement at some point and get screwed over too.
I'm not sure that is. I think that he is saying some things that might appear to the outside as moderating. So I don't want to say that you're wrong, Ira. I think I agree with you. But I think what he's doing is trying to define the scope of his movement so it doesn't have this like spin into Candace Owens territory. So Candace Owens took the other side of Alex Jones and is giving people their fix of conspiracy theories, and she'll believe anything as the Israelis or some other country. And, whether it's legit, like actually sincere or not, that's what she's doing. And so you can, the good example of that is the Charlie Kirk assassination, where Nick says it's not the Israelis. There's no evidence that it was the Israelis. And people are like, wow, you're moderating. But I think what he's trying to do is define the scope of of his movement to be about what Fuentes says, where he has control of it. One, I don't actually believe he thinks it's Israel, and two, I think that he can't be as predictable that like it's always Israel, it's always Israel, it's always Israel. He actually wants to give analysis from like a geostrategic perspective, and that requires certain like ground rules that are kind of based in reality a little bit. And
guys, I'm anti-Semitic, but I'm not. I'm not crazy.
Yeah, I think that furthers his end.
But who's winning that war at Pisco?
As between Owens and Fuentes?
Yes.
Owens and Fuentes get along, don't they?
You think Fuentes? I think Candace is dominating. She's like the #1 podcast.
Wait,
she's able to have a...
Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes, they get along, don't they?
No.
No. They're in a big beef.
Wait, what? Beef. When did this happen? I knew Candace Owens was beefing with.
This is one of the things that I think. No, she's beefing with Fuentes as well. And this is to IRI's point as well, which I think was a good one about like the kind of other personality flaws that will limit his swing upwards. One of which he said is the fact his constant virginity, and that's going to be a thing.
Constant virginity, I didn't know.
And
no shame if anybody hasn't had sex by 27. You wait for your special person, okay? Yeah. Do you? But I'm just saying it's not inspiring young people. Go ahead.
The rumors are out that he might be, have slept with some men. So
it's not the fact that it's not the fact that he's a virgin. He's a virgin, and he's giving people. He's trying to give like young men advice for like male female dynamics. It's like, what, bro? What are you doing? Like, you have no fucking idea what you're talking about. You haven't even kissed a girl. Like, yeah, it's that which drives me insane. Candace Owens, for the record, is I think legitimately having a psychotic break, and I think she is one of the best examples of how social media can act as like an enabler. Like her massive audience. Or basically they fulfill the role of like an enabler that somebody who might be mentally ill and they're surrounded by family members who don't, enable them.
They need that conspiracy fix. They need the fix of it. They had so much of it with like COVID, and they had so much access to all of these conspiracies. And Alex Jones is, he's kind of weirdly like moderated a little bit, or at least like kind of is not as into that stuff as much anymore. He's not going so crazy. Same thing with like some of the COVID people, Joe Rogan type people. They're still insane, but there's not as much. Everyone's heard that shit before. They want some new shit. They want to go crazier and even weirder. And that's where you get, Macron tried to kill me. He's married to his dad, who's a trans woman.
I don't think she's or something. I don't think she's grifting though. I think
she's actually schizophrenic.
That's what I'm saying. I think she is legitimately insane, and it's just.
If you talk to MAGA, they'll tell you she's nuts. Like they're starting to bail from her. They don't like her. They don't believe her now. But she's still very popular.
Her audience is massive, bro. She has so many regular viewers. It's just like
Fuentes can't get along with her because Fuentes can't get along with anybody. He can't get along with Tucker Carlson. He can't get along with Marjorie Taylor Greene. People who ostensibly would be more aligned with his side. One of the things that I think could be a problem for the Groypers coming up is Fuentes' virginity and his problems with building and maintaining relationships with people who will occasionally have disagreements with him.
Gentlemen, just as a random aside, I'm gonna be a firearm owner officially on Sunday. Here, hold on.
Wow.
Soy pill. Put that on the screen. This is gonna be the first gun that I ever own.
Is this you holding it, or is some other?
No. I have to wait. Yeah, you have to wait like 10 days in California, but I'm going big for the first one, boys.
Okay. I can just share the tablet audio, but only if it's in Microsoft Edge. So now we've found a solution. All right,
gentlemen, this is a Colt Anaconda 44 Magnum 8-inch barrel.
Oh my god!
Well, great. I don't know. Enormous. It weighs like.
That's wonderful.
No, like 5 pounds. I don't know what it weighs.
That's like the Joker's gun in the first Batman.
Yeah, that he shoots the plane with.
Hold on, just listen to him fire it just one time. It sounds like Thor's hammer. Look at the fucking barrel.
Oh, God.
Listen to that. Okay,
all right.
Sorry, I just wanted to show you guys that.
Oh my God. As a liberal, I can say, why would anyone need a gun like that?
Why would anyone do that? You're more likely to kill yourself with it
Yes.
That one's gonna
Why
be
now, Hutch?
That one's gonna be for fun. My dad's gifting me that for Christmas. I'm gonna get like a Glock or something. But do you guys have guns? Did you guys buy guns or no?
I
No.
own 2, yeah.
No.
I
You
was
own 2 guns?
surprised.
No, I actually have 2 guns.
Oh, you set me up for that.
I was surprised at how easy it was, to be honest, because I live in California, and so like we have one of the, I think that we're widely regarded as the most restrictive on firearms, but it took like 20 minutes. Like the test was really fucking. Yeah, go ahead.
That's in a world where you can go to like a gun show and buy a gun in like 5 minutes, you know?
Yeah,
Or like your
like-
buddy can give you one.
Hutch, the difference is in California, there's some restrictions insofar as there's waiting periods sometimes, there's background checks. When I was in New Mexico, I was at a gun show. There was a grandfather claused Mac 10 on a table, and the seller said, "Here's a Mac 10. It's not automatic. I'll give it to you now for $2,000. And don't tell anyone I told you this, but if you file down this pin, it'll become fully automatic." And I was like, "Okay, thanks. I didn't ask."
You said that was New Mexico?
This was New Mexico, yeah.
That sounds about right. Yeah, my uncle lives there. Yeah.
So,
Hey, Bonnie, if you're listening, I want you to investigate these 2 boys. Got to make sure that Hutch isn't
I had to
getting
do
drugs.
I had to do a federal background check. I've been clean for almost 3 years. I'm good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And soy pill, we got to really take a look at whether that's grandfathered in. Who did you rely on to come to that determination? The gun
that's
seller?
just what the guy said. I don't know. He could have been totally making all this up. Yeah.
It was someone opening his van and it's like, yeah, these are legal.
So wait,
Yeah.
so you can buy a gun in New Mexico and just drive into California? Like
Well,
what
are they going to do? There's no border checks at the California border unless you're like driving in from San Diego or over the Tijuana border. Like no one's searching your car.
No, but,
you know,
what are the laws? Like if you buy a gun out of state, do you have to like give it to like an FFL dealer and have them hold it for like 10 days or what?
I believe there is something like legally you do have to do something like
Which of course you did.
Well, no, I didn't buy the gun. The guns I own are all legally purchased in California. But like this is the reason why you see so much gun crime, and this is the big conservative talking point in places where there's like really restrictive gun laws because people just buy them in a different state and then drive over the border illegally, sure, but like it's very easy to do. So yeah.
Oh.
Well, what are you gonna do with your gun, Hutch? You're gonna go to the range and shoot some targets? See what's good?
I've just wanted a gun for a while. Like, I got there's something about like I don't know, the fires down here in LA were fucking gnarly when those fires popped off, and like the COVID stuff. Like I don't know, I just felt like I never had this impulse before, but I just want
Doomsday prepper.
Wait, Hutch, you can't shoot a fire, right? It'll keep burning.
No, but I feel like you never know. I feel like society is very fragile. It could collapse at any moment. I don't know. I just like the older I got, the more I wanted just the option to be able to defend myself and Esme if I had to, and I just felt weird not having that option. So that's what motivated me in my elderly years.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You're not old.
I'm
Hutch.
pro responsible gun ownership, even as a liberal. I just think there should be a little more training. I don't know how much you have, Hutch. I'm sure you'll pay for your own, but I'm
gonna pay for lessons. I'm gonna take it seriously. Yeah, for sure.
Have you shot before?
Yeah. And my dad was a cop, so there were like firearms around the house like all the time, and I've shot.
Oh, your dad was a cop.
I want to say that explains so much, but I haven't thought of the consequence of that.
Oh, I haven't thought about that either.
That explains.
Was
so
he
much.
strict? Was he kind of like a strict guy?
Very, very strict guy.
Oh.
Yeah, very strict guy. Yeah.
Where did this come from? You were just thinking about guns while we were talking about like.
I'm just excited, and I wanted to share my excitement with my friends.
Oh, it's like you announcing you're having a baby.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Like it's really. I think that shooting at the shooting range was one of the funnest, most fun experiences that I've had with a friend of mine. He was like super conservative, and we would always like debate and argue about this and that. And then one day he brings me to the range, and we shot his 12 gauge and shit. It was a ton of fun. So I really hope you enjoy it, man.
Shotguns fucking suck though, man.
Yeah.
They give you bruises.
Oh
Like,
yeah, right.
Now you're sounding like a little liberal, Hutch. Oh my god.
Liberal bitch.
Shotgun, it's so big and it hurts my shoulder.
Dude, I shot a Spaz 12 when I was 6'3", 135. So like I nearly went airborne in the opposite direction.
No.
Like there was just not enough support, and I fucking bruised up from it. It was horrible. I will never shoot another Spaz 12 for as long as I live.
Do you guys remember the article from that liberal reporter writing about how he got PTSD from shooting an AR-15?
No, wait.
Who said that?
This was back.
Is that
in,
your
like,
best friend Taylor?
No. This is a guy.
Have you
and he was
texted her recently?
I
Have you
texted
texted
her
her
today,
recently?
actually.
What'd she
Talking
say?
about what did you, well, I didn't even say what we were talking about. What do you mean?
I'm just, yeah, no, I didn't.
She
I'm just
said,
curious if you-
peace goes on to us. That's what she said. No, you're talking about
I'm joking.
AI or something. I
You don't have
know.
to. I'm not fucking with you.
You know she's
but wait.
married, right?
Is she married?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, maybe. Oh fuck! I hope that's public.
Leaked.
Jesus Christ!
Leaked.
I'm not going to say anything past that. All I'm saying is you guys got to stop
I don't
joking
know
about
if it's
this. It's
leaked.
weird.
All right, I didn't know that. It was a fucking meme. All right, shit. Wait, Hutch, have you played Metal Gear Solid?
Oh yeah.
Have you seen that guy with Revolver Ocelot where he does the little tricks?
Oh my god, you're gonna get Hutch.
You gotta learn to do
You're gonna
that.
get Hutch killed.
Not with that. Not with that gun. That gun literally weighs
gotta
like
learn to
7
do
or 8
that.
pounds. No.
You gotta get the grip
too
straight.
big.
All right,
It's enormous.
All right, well.
It's fucking enormous. It's bulky. Yeah. I think it's like 13 inches from the back of the grip to the front of the barrel.
What the hell?
The- the
13
ba- the
inches?
Well, the barrel itself is 8 inches, but then there's like everything to the behind the barrel.
You could use that for self-defense without it being loaded. Just hit people with it.
Yeah, for real. Just throw it
True.
at him. Just chuck it at him.
Is that the Dirty Harry gun?
It is, yeah.
You know that? Wait, is it
44
really?
Magnum. Well, it's not. I don't know if he had the Anaconda, but he had a
He
44
didn't have the
Magnum.
Anaconda, yeah, but he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll do you, punk. You gotta like dress up as Dirty Harry and do it. Get a wig.
Think about it. Think about
That's
it.
the most
Yeah.
important part. All right, guys, do we want to talk about? I really want to hear Pisco's opinion on this, but the idea that the Supreme Court is going to hear out whether or not Trump can, without cause, fire heads of independent agencies. This is really concerning to me.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's another example of the Supreme Court. I feel like I'm channeling Josiah here. We need immediate court reform, and we need to increase the number of seats on the Supreme Court. And that is not just evidenced by this case. It seems like the court is just doing things in their own estimation to give Trump like 90% of the power that he wants all the time. And so the case that they're considering overturning, and effectively this case is over, just to let you guys know. No one, I think, believes that they're going to maintain the case known as Humphrey's executor. And that case sort of noticed that there were certain instances in which a president can't be said to have full removal authority. The president's removal authority isn't found explicitly in the Constitution. It's recognized as kind of a function of the executive branch. And the question was, what limits? And so this guy, Humphrey, he lost his job. He was fired by like Roosevelt or some shit because Roosevelt didn't like what he was doing. And then he died. And so his executor was trying to like get the back pay or whatever thing was owed him. That's Humphrey's executor. And that, it was determined whether the firing was lawful. And what they decided was on some areas where it's maybe more quasi-administrative or quasi-judicial agency, that there can be restrictions on those, the ability to remove. That developed a little bit until we have the model now of independent agencies where it's a multi-member commission in an independent way where there's a lot of expertise involved, that there can be restrictions on the ability to fire. And what they're doing is they're going to get rid of the whole thing. And they're going to say unitary executive, unitary executive, unitary executive. Two big problems with that. One, the Federal Reserve. What separates the Federal Reserve? Because the Supreme Court also wants to maintain the independence of the Federal Reserve, all the while basically carving out everything else, including the FTC. So there's not a really good logical way to distinguish it, except for saying, well, oh, there was kind of like a First National Bank back in the founding, and that's like the independent, that's kind of like the Federal Reserve, but it's nothing like the Federal Reserve. The first bank of the United States was nothing like the modern Federal Reserve. And so there's no really good distinguished way to differentiate those. But Roberts is going to find some bullshit, like he always does. He finds some fucking bullshit. And the second big problem is this whole theory, the unitary executive theory, which we are now fucking cursed with from Trump, United States, and other things, has no basis. There's an explicit part of the Constitution, which I mentioned and I put on Twitter, that debunks it. And that's relevant to like the Lindsey Halligan appointments and these U.S. attorneys who are being thrown out. Namely, that the Constitution gives into the hands of Congress the ability to, for inferior officers, appoint or give to the courts the power to appoint members of the executive branch. And so if it's the case that for basically 95% of the bureaucracy in the federal government, Congress, if it wanted to, could give the entire appointment process over to the courts, then in what sense can we say we have a unitary executive, that the Constitution sort of accepts this doctrine? It doesn't. It's a bullshit doctrine meant to give the Republican Party a king when they want it, and then the courts can come in and fuck over Democratic presidents when it's not their turn. So in my opinion, it's fucked up. It's more evidence of the unprincipled political nature of the Supreme Court at the moment. And yeah, they're going to overturn it, and you should bet on it.
Okay.
That's not the
you're
only.
very confident about that. But it's definitely going to get overturned.
Yeah, I think it's dead.
What about the birthright citizenship one?
That I think that it's likely that we'll win on it, and that's because there just is no plausible reading of the 14th Amendment citizenship clause, which says it doesn't apply to illegal immigrants. Everyone is pushing out this quote from one of the drafters of the 14th Amendment, but they're just reading the quote wrong. It actually supports our position because it separates like three things, like foreigners, aliens who are family members of, whatever, the ambassadors. And they're reading that as though the citizenship clause like excludes non-citizens entirely. But that doesn't make any sense, because if you read it that way, then the freed slaves wouldn't have been citizenships. And everyone agrees at a bare minimum that it would have given the freed slave citizenship. So it's just a very, very stupid
argument,
thing.
though, that they're like, well, this was clearly intended to stop and end at freed slaves and does not apply to legal immigrants. I'm not saying this is the case, by the way, but I think this is the case they're going to try to make. No?
I mean, that's their argument, but it doesn't pass historical muster, because they were trying to do more than that. If you actually listen to what they're saying, they're saying we're doing this to establish what the law of the land is, and what it currently is. We're just codifying what actually exists currently, and what actually exists currently is the English common law rule of birthright citizenship, and that had two exceptions to it: the children of ambassadors and diplomatic figures, and the children of conquering armies in the invasions in like the military sense, not in like the people traveling sense. And so if you just look at the words of the amendment, it doesn't say all persons born to citizens or whatever. It says all persons. So textually, even if they wanted to say that one of the purposes was to address the freed slaves, that isn't its only purpose. Its other purpose was to codify the then existing English common law. And this is explicit in the statements made by the drafters, if you care about them. And so, no, it didn't just have that one purpose. And it's stupid to just take that look. And it's also contradictory, last thing I'll say, to the whole style of judicial interpretation that they've been advocating for, which is originalism. The whole point of originalism is you're not supposed to just look at the specific purpose. You're supposed to look at the language and what the language of the text means to the public. And so in addition to being untenable reading, it's also contrary to their own espoused judicial philosophy.
Real quick, and then I want to ask you guys a question. Would this, let's say that the Supreme Court rules in a way that you don't think they will. Let's say that they say that birthright citizenship is no longer a thing. Would this give the administration a legal rationale to like denaturalize people who were born here? Like, for example,
of course
like
it would.
Yeah. My fiance was her parents were not citizens when she was born here. She was born here she's a citizen because of the 14th Amendment. Would the courts, would that give him a legal basis to actually do that if he wanted to do that?
Yeah, sure.
So, right?
Of course. Yeah. If it wouldn't be denaturalization, you just wouldn't be a citizen. It's like you were never a citizen.
Yeah, they retroactively apply it.
Yeah. Now they could choose as a matter of policy. As a matter of fact, the policy doesn't extend as far as those people. It only applies on a going forward basis. It doesn't apply to people who are children of green card holders or anything like that. And maybe there's an evidence problem that they would have to prove. And maybe there would be a presumption applied to people who like have a passport or whatever. But it would certainly give them a basis to call into question the citizenship of millions of people.
Hutch just opened a new tab and got 2 more crates of ammo.
I want to ask you guys a question on immigration, because immigration was obviously, apart from the economy, the biggest weakness for the Biden administration. And I do think that the candidates for the party moving forward at the congressional level, and certainly for the 2028 presidential nominee, they're going to be asked the question, hey, we saw the border get pretty chaotic on Biden's watch. What do you intend to do to make sure that doesn't happen again? What do you guys think the answer to that question should be?
Well, I think
the border situation?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
go ahead.
they're going to say with their chest that we do not support illegal immigration. We need to open up new legal immigration, pass for legal immigration, and that's how you stem the flow of illegal immigration. I don't think it's going to be controversial at all. I think Democrats have learned a lesson that you have to tell people where your limits are on immigration, on abortion, on trans people, whatever it is, you got to show where your line is. Otherwise, the right will fill it in for the rest of America, and then their minds will go even crazier.
Yeah, I'm kind of with IRI on this. I mean, it's just tout the bipartisan border bill, say we tried to help this problem. We tried to put more funding in it. I do think we need a strong border. Illegal immigration isn't okay. We need to find out how to, accept the people that are already here and give a pathway to citizenship. I think that's a pretty easy defense for these guys.
I would lean on Trump's failures. Trump promised you that by quote unquote securing the border, which he did illegally, and that's what I would say, that all your problems would be solved, that cost of living would be addressed, that housing would be addressed, that he would be able to fix your problems with this policy. He spent tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars on increased enforcement above and beyond where we're already at. He appropriated all that money to take care of this quote unquote problem. Did you see a cent of it? Or was he just paying people to do this job and giving money to bureaucrats like immigration judges, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? And has your life meaningfully improved? No. And the reason is obvious. His policies, including immigration policies, increase the prices of your goods, increase the price of the components to food prices, the components to homes, when construction, all that stuff, and add on top of that the tariffs. So I would lean on that. Like this policy, we had it for 4 years under Trump. It didn't work. But what works should be securing the border, making sure that that's a priority, and actually increasing channels for legal immigrants, for people that we need to increase our ability to compete, to stave off potentially some aspects of the demographic collapse that all countries are witnessing, and also to decrease prices. I think that is a policy that we should embrace from a perspective of, we tried it, it didn't work. Let's not keep doing the same thing. Let's try to secure the border, and let's also increase our immigration capacity and make legal the people who are already here, who we want to do these jobs and to lower our prices and improve all of our circumstances.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, my concern there is that this is a bit divisive. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but what I've noticed that lefties do is they conflate the border with immigration. So for example, it's really common to hear left, like the populist left, the online left, claim that Kamala Harris ran as a right winger on immigration, which is just insane, because her platform is basically what Pisco was saying. Like, she proposed a pathway to citizenship for people that have been here for years and haven't committed any crimes. I mean, we're talking mass amnesty. Like, that's essentially a amnesty program for potentially like double-digit millions of people. Biden, when he was president, he naturalized like twice as many citizens as Trump did. He gave out way more visas. He was objectively like super pro-immigrant. And yet, if you listen to Hassan talk about, Kamala's border policy, he accuses her of, and it's not just him, right? I mean, it's like, I'm just saying, like the progressive left seem to conflate the border with like being anti-immigrant. And it depends on
if you're the open borders progressive left, which there are a lot of people who just think there shouldn't be a border. And then it doesn't matter what Kamala says, it's reasonable. It's if she's not no border, then she's right winger, right?
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of them kind of functionally are open borders, but they don't come out and say it. But like, if you ask them questions, they don't really like give you solid answers. They avoid answering certain questions, like the idea that building more facilities is actually a humane immigration policy. If we have more facilities along our southern border, they don't get overwhelmed. Like what makes these facilities inhumane is when they're packed, like beyond their capacity. And so
in the middle of an alligator Alcatraz.
Yeah, well, that's a different thing altogether. But yeah, I mean, I'm just like, we're a little far removed from 2028, obviously, but I'm just a little concerned about like that issue in particular, because I do think it's going to be a little divisive. I do think that
I would run on abolishing ICE. I would say it didn't work. ICE is destroying freedoms everywhere. I'm going to reconstitute immigration enforcement into a new body with a new mandate to prioritize the protection of American civil liberties. That is really like
the wording there is, I saw IRI do a little because like
I'd be careful there.
That rings like the abolish the police thing or like defund the police. Where
you just have to be real. You just have to be, to his point though, like you just need to be really clear that you don't mean we're going to end border enforcement. Like,
then, but you have to pick different words then, right?
You would just have to have like, just have DHS absorb ICE. I mean, I feel like defunding or getting rid of ICE is actually probably wouldn't even be a losing position. Like, I feel like it's insanely
No,
unpopular.
I don't think it's a losing position either. I would just say like ICE. This is what I would say. ICE as a unit has offended and infringed Americans' civil liberties in a wide sweeping fashion under Trump. We try that. It doesn't work. We are going to, reconstitute immigration enforcement under DHS, under a new agency, a new branch with a new mandate to protect civil liberties. That's what we're going to do. We're going to keep enforcing immigration, but it won't be ICE and these people who have just run roughshod over our rights.
Yeah, no, I agree with this completely, by the way, Pisco. This is like one thing where like 5 years ago, I would have been like, well, we need border enforcement, and seeing what ICE has done in the past year is like, this is rotten to its core. It needs reform. But if you have a politician with a poster that says abolish ICE, that is going to be the campaign for like every Republican ever. You need to choose the words very carefully there, because they're going to abuse the shit out of it. They're going to do it anyway, but saying abolish it, they're just like, oh, they want an open border, right? Like that's what they're going to run away with.
Yeah, talk to
maybe replace ICE or something like that. There's a way that you could. There's a way that you can convey.
You guys hate the fiery language. Fuck ICE. Fuck ICE. Abolish ICE. I don't give a fuck.
All right, what should they do on ICE? Because you have similar hesitancy as I do.
I say stay away from abolishing or getting rid of anything, because people, if you're explaining, you're losing. But I think to build on what Pisco was saying, you can point to the unemployment rate and say, look, we kicked all these people out, and the unemployment went up, and housing went up, and Trump said that affordability would get better, but it didn't. It actually got worse. And so we want to create legal means of immigration so that people can do it the right way. And we're even going to reward the people that did it the right way the first time. I think Democrats have to be a little more open to people's complaints about immigration moving forward. And I also just don't think immigration will be as big of an issue. We had a flood of humanity at the southern border because we were doing well and other countries were. And I don't think that's coming back anytime soon.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, it's just, we can just imagine the attack ads, because it was just such an easy thing to exploit. It was such an easy vulnerability for Biden to exploit. Like, he spent the first 2 years of his administration focused on getting legislation done, and he punted the issue. But the problem was like the influx that we saw reached near historic levels, and it just stayed at that historic kind of like, I mean, it really was chaotic. And so it got to the point where even Democratic constituents were calling their representatives and senators and asking them to do something about the border. And so, they're definitely going to be pressed on this issue in 2028. And, I have some concerns it'll be divisive, but I think you guys are right. I think they are going to just take the exact position that you guys proposed.
Someone says, Pisco ex post facto applies to reinterpretation of the 14th Amendment. I don't know why. Why would ex post facto apply to reinterpretation of the 14th Amendment? My understanding is one that would let me think, actually, that there are certain issues like that which relate to interpretations of certain criminal procedures, but I don't know why it would, on a forward going basis, give you access to the trappings of citizenship if you don't and never had it. So we have to give citizenship to everyone on a forward going basis, even though there was never an on point. There wasn't a specific on point case, a holding case that said that illegal immigrants are included under the 14th Amendment. That just is the natural reading of Wong Kim Ark, and there's some dicta from a 1970s opinion, but it's not like an on-point precedent in that factual sense from the Supreme Court. I don't know why the ex post facto law would prevent you from calling into question the citizenship of such people.
Get his ass, man. Fuck him up.
Not knowing exactly the legalese here. Yeah. Is all I have to say.
Fuck you, man. Fucking chatters.
Guys, I unless there was anything major to wrap up, I did find the article and wanted to show you guys 2 excerpts from it. All right, because I don't want you to turn into this, Hutch. If you're going to be
which article is this?
This is his name is let me find his name. Someone in the chat pointed this out. It's Gersh Kuntzman. That's a real name, and he's the liberal that did the if a right winger invented a straw man character of a left winger who is afraid of guns, it would be this, but it's a real person. And you're
saying they literally got PTSD from firing a rifle?
Well, here's to the 2 extras. One, it felt to me like a bazooka and sounded like a cannon. This is how he introduces the AR-15. And then down here, he says, Not in my hands. I've shot pistols before, but never something like an AR-15. Squeeze lightly on the trigger, and the resulting explosion of firepower is humbling and deafening, even with ear protection. The recoil bruised my shoulder, which can happen if you don't know what you're doing. The brass shell casings disoriented me as they flew past my face. The smell of sulfur and destruction made me sick. The explosions, loud like a bomb, gave me a temporary form of PTSD. For at least an hour after firing the gun, just a few times, I was anxious and irritable. So this was like, I can't believe this person is real. An AR-15, if you guys have ever shot one, is incredibly easy to shoot. You can shoot it with one hand, with no shoulder protection. It's not that loud. It's not high caliber. It's like it's a baby gun. You can give it to like a child and help them defend their classroom or whatever you're using it for. But it's like this was insane. Like that this guy was like, oh my God, it's the worst. It's like a nuclear bomb. So
there's like none of that in Democratic Party politics right now, though. It feels like the anti-gun stuff or like more aggressive pushes for reforms reached kind of like its zenith in 2018. But I feel like everybody kind of intuitively understands this is such a losing thing for Democrats. Like it just doesn't benefit us at all to be pushing for like aggressive reforms. We can get people on like common sense, what we call common sense stuff. Like I feel like expanded background checks consistently polls like in the 90s or something. There's some stuff that you can do that's fine, but it is a liability, especially with like independent voters.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you pointed out earlier.
Not if you
Beto lost was like, I'm not why, but a big reason is in Texas saying not just, hey, we need reform, but hell yeah, we are going to take your gun away. Like that was his message, which is just not palatable.
If you ask counterpoints, he thinks the Democrats are about to pass the great Second Amendment undoing bill or something like that, and that's why he's considering a vote for J.D. Vance in 2028.
Jesus. That's why you can't trust these never Trump Republicans, because they'll fall right back into it the instant they'll
fall into their old. Or if it's not him, I bet he would vote for Meatball Ron.
Well, he's definitely
nicknames. I don't know who you're talking about for a second. Sorry, go ahead.
Ron DeSantis just did something in Florida. Like he just I think something to do with the Muslim Brotherhood. He said Ron DeSantis.
We are officially recognizing the Muslim Brother. I fucking hate this guy.
Wait, was recognizing them what as a terrorist organization? What is
yeah. It's like CARE
for Florida.
I think he's obviously positioning himself for 2028, but he designated Muslim Brotherhood and CARE as terrorist groups in Florida.
Oh my God.
We did it. We got him.
Surely that'll bring down my groceries.
Did you guys see the Somalian Twitter that are doing the fucking trolls? Have you seen these?
Oh yes, those are great. Those are the ones where they use the pro-Israel argument, like, oh, Minnesota was promised to us 3,000 years ago, like you can't kick us out.
They're using AI. They're using AI. Hold on, you gotta show chat this. Somalian founding fathers.
Yeah.
They used AI to show.
Oh yeah, actually, this country was founded by Somalians.
Dude,
a lot of people don't like to recognize this.
It's so good. I can't find the particular one that I'm looking for, but yeah, they're trolling like crazy on Twitter.
I mean, you don't really.
MAGA is in like a fear. I don't know what you call it, but they're all worked up thinking Tim Walz is going to prison. It's quite hilarious.
Oh, because of the video?
They think that there's no way he wasn't aware of $1 billion in theft.
Yeah, some fraud
by
or
these
something
groups
like
of
that.
people.
Yeah,
it's a whole story. This Minnesota fraud. Trump is trying to distract with it as well.
There was something else too. There was oh God, it escapes me now. There was something else that was like a really big story this week
about some.
You haven't been following that, Soy Pill? You haven't seen that? What's going on with that?
No, I guess not. I feel like a really bad.
Yeah, the right is all whipped up over like. Well, after the DC shooting, just quickly, after DC shooting, Trump said these Somalis are bad. He called them Somalians, but for some reason he started picking on them. And now he's like, they need to get the hell out of here, even though 95% of them are American citizens living in Minnesota. But it turns out there's been like a lot of pandemic era theft by some people in Minnesota, happen to be Somalis. About 80 people arrested and charged so far. But I mean, this stuff happens all over America. There was a lot of theft during the pandemic, but Trump, of course, is picking on them. And now people are saying Tim Walz is going down because he was the governor. There's no way he wasn't aware of this happening.
Oh, The pipe bomber, was that
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch the fucking press conference, the live press conference where they talked about it?
Yeah.
Like you could tell
embarrass himself.
You could tell where the wind was blowing just by watching that press conference, because it was Bondi, it was Kash Patel, I think Bongino was there, a couple other people, and they were not getting into any specifics about the actual bomber. So at that point, I was just like, okay, I think we can just assume this guy was MAGA. But it's they're doing the thing that they do every single time. There's this crazy thing that's endemic on the right now. It is like almost entirely ubiquitous in terms of like all of them just lying about this stuff. Like Benny Johnson was like the perfect example of this, because, you know, the reporting said that he was cooperating with the FBI, that he admitted that he planted the bomb, that he thought 2020 was stolen, that he supported Donald Trump. And yet all of these right-wing accounts are spreading this idea that he was just like secretly Antifa or something like that.
Was that because he was not white? Is that really like what they were running?
Yes.
And then also, I think his dad was involved in litigation against the first Trump administration or something like that. But they're like finding these little things, but it's just like, if you guys notice that, like the reason why right wingers, the public, the voters, genuinely have no idea that right wing violence exists is because every time there's some documented account of something like this, every single one of the right wing social media accounts just lie about it. They just lie their asses off about it.
Speaking of Benny Johnson,
I was gonna say it comes easily from a guy who lies about being straight every day.
I'm not even plugged
according
into
to Milo.
I'm not even plugged into right-wing politics at all, and I knew about that rumor. I knew about that rumor like several months ago. Like apparently it's been an open secret.
Well, be careful trusting Milo. He said Charlie Kirk is still alive too, and that in the same setting.
Yeah, more tongue in cheek.
I wasn't going off of Milo. Yeah, I
was going off of Kyle Kalinske. Kalinske said the following. Kalinske told me that one time, and I think I saw the tweet. Benny Johnson was like, "What's up with all this gay porn on my feed? It's like they're trying to feed."
Yes. This is a famous Benny Johnson tweet where he had a tweet ad for a gay cruise, which is a Google AdSense algorithmically targeted towards him. And he was complaining about Google pushing a gay agenda. And so since then, and even before then, I just assumed he was gay. And then I was surprised to see when he tweeted out, like on Christmas, it was a photo of him, his wife, and kids at like Trump Tower. And he's like, God, do I love my straight heterosexual family.
No.
Yeah. So, and then he's also tweeting stuff out about like, demons
That's the gayest thing you could tweet.
Well, he says demons are real, which is secret code for my wife found my Grindr account. So
my understanding is that this has been kind of an open secret behind the scenes for years, that people have been talking about this.
And by the way, guys, just in case anyone in chat is not on board, we are very pro gay here. We just think it's funny.
Oh, yes.
These hypocrites are,
alleged hypocrites. We're also not making it. This is a statement of opinion, not a statement of fact. And so we don't want to. Oh no. Oh no.
That's a targeted AdSense ad if I've ever seen one.
Oh no.
Wow. I don't get ads like that. I'll say that.
Well, you know what? It would be okay if you did, IRI.
I searched something totally political like a few days ago on Twitter, and just full on trans porn showed up on my feed. Like while I was streaming,
so random. Like who? Wow.
While I was streaming, it apparently you have to put them in quotation marks, because if you want to look for a particular phrase, if you don't put it in quotation marks, it'll serve you tweets that have even just one of those words. I can't remember what the word was, but thankfully I had it in a separate window because I was live. I was streaming, like scrolling through, and it's like full on penetration, anal sex, trans porn showed up on my feed.
I was going to say, maybe buried the lead here. What was the political topic you were looking up?
I don't remember. It was something. I don't remember.
Well, not to take away from the trans porn conversation, but I think the pipe bomber story has more legs, because the right doesn't believe Dan Bongino. There's a whole segment of MAGA that's like, hey, this is bullshit. We were told it's Antifa dressing up as MAGA that started the riot, and then the pipe bomber guy was an FBI insider. I mean, as recently as January of this year, Dan Bongino was saying on his podcast before he went to the FBI that it was an inside job. And so people are like, hey, man, can you explain this? Because we don't believe you.
Yeah, it's exactly the same with the Epstein files. Like, well, you said they
Yeah.
were there, and now you're saying they don't exist. I mean, what? Yeah, this might be part of that like actual first breaking point where yes, Trump can do no wrong except completely 180 on the very thing that he ran on. Yeah.
Also, I can't wait for all the apologies that are surely forthcoming to all of Democrats who have been blamed now for what, 5 years, 4 or 5 years for the bomb and planting the bomb. And
They're just
people were
going to
saying
not
that
talk about it. They're just going to not talk about it.
And I want to
That's
call out
their
someone
plan.
specifically. Rob Knorr. This is a call out to you, bro.
Wow.
I remember distinctly, maybe 6 or 7 times, you on your stream going through this video of the footage that we have of them finding the suspicious package or whatever, and implying with your words that it was a Democratic plan. And you know that's what was your position.
Wow.
I want to know when we're gonna get like a mea culpa and saying that, oh, I was stirring the pot and maybe I don't have anything there and I was overly confident.
And if anything, where is the anger from people like Rob Knorr at the leaders like Dan Bongino for misleading them, right? If you were so wrong,
he lied.
Wouldn't you want to know why you were so wrong, you know?
Bongino said 100% it was an inside job. Something like that. It was like a high degree of confidence. And at a bare minimum, that's a lie because he's saying a level of confidence that he couldn't truly have. And that, I mean, like that must be the case. And if it's the case that, well, he just learned more when he got to the FBI, then why aren't you mistrusting of Bongino? Why do you trust Bongino, in other words? Just because he told you what he wanted to hear back when you wanted to hear it?
Yes.
The deep state got to him, I guess.
We need to go out there and put it right in their faces, Pisco, because this is some bullshit. But don't worry, they're doing it themselves. Like Benny Johnson, the day of the arrest, had some woman on his show who was like, this is before the sources at the FBI revealed to like NBC News that the guy was motivated by Trump's 2020 election stolen lies. That she was like, I think this guy's Antifa and there's more to this than just he couldn't have done it by himself. So they're already going to start eating themselves up. Plus, compound that with December 19th, which is the deadline for releasing the Epstein files per the Epstein Files Transparency Act, which, you know, Trump's going to fail miserably to release what they want. 100%. So it's just going to get worse.
And no one will believe it, even if he was 100%. Right. That is because they have no credibility and no one buys it. And they've generated this fervor that they're never going to be able to meet. And the fact that they hid it for so long, I think will generate even further. And the fact that this had to be a law passed, everyone's going to be looking. And the fact that the law has many loopholes, they're going to be looking at it with a fine tooth comb.
Well, I was going to say, are you guys giving any credence to the rumors that they're redacting him from a lot of the stuff, or that they're going to release a very partial list? Like, I'm genuinely worried that they're going to be like, see, and then it's nothing, right? Like,
well, no, it's a no. It is a no-win situation for the Republican Party, and add on top of that the skyrocketing premiums that are going to kick in here in a number of weeks, and so.
Wait. Can you tell me how it's no win? Because I can imagine a world where they redact all the Republican names and just release anyone that they can smear, and then
because no matter what they do, like the conspiracy, the conspiracy nuts are not gonna be satisfied with anything.
If it doesn't result in charges, if they're not arresting people, and when they're not going to be arresting people, because guess what, they haven't arrested people, they're not going to be happy with it no matter what. And if it doesn't go as far as like Israel and foreign countries. And they're arresting Bill Clinton, but they won't arrest them because if they could, they would have. And so it's not going to please anybody. I agree.
There's some reporting that Kristi Noem is being that Trump is considering replacing her, but I'm going to go further than that. I think Pam Bondi's days are numbered because she is the one who is responsible for the Epstein fiasco. It's entirely self-inflicted. No. But she wasn't pushing. He wasn't pushing her to do that. She was just trying to get clicks. Like she was just trying to generate like national attention. And the whole thing ended up blowing. Like you can draw a straight line from the fucking Epstein files phase 1 full like binder shit to where we are now. Like it is entirely her fault. And so I think
because she brought it into the public, but it was people were already talking about it. But she could have just ignored it. She could have just like not done anything. And it's not like they would have. It was the whole thing was just like an enormous Streisand effect. It was entirely. You think it would have come up again at some point where someone's at a press conference asking Kash Patel or Bondi? It kind of felt like this was a vulnerability that was going to be exploited at some point, and the vulnerability comes from Trump and probably the merits of what's there, not like the fact that someone played it politically wrong or something. I agree, Bondi fucked it up a lot, but I think that most of that has to do with Trump's position. She's not able to show stuff because it's probably very embarrassing, or there's not enough to make arrests or something, and that might be, that's not going to be satisfying, right?
Like she didn't bring it up out of nowhere, right, Pisco? It's like this was because of what Trump ran on, what like his movement is, the QAnon sect of it. Like it was like a response to that energy. Like this needs to be addressed. And if it wasn't her, it would have been Bongino coming out and saying,
been someone asking a question and then
asking Trump and being like, "Who cares? I'm bored of that." Like something would have happened.
They could have given some bullshit answers. Oh yeah, we're still looking through it, or whatever. They could have stretched it out. Like she literally made the whole thing 100 times worse. Like it all starts with her. She didn't have to do it in that way.
The more they say like, yeah, we're working on it. I agree. They probably should have just go for it, Ira.
Well, they could have dragged it out. I agree with you. What are you saying? They couldn't drag it out indefinitely?
I'm saying they could. I think they could, but like at a certain point, it becomes ridiculous as well. I mean, like because then it's something we can use as ammunition.
There's just so many files we can't get through them all.
They messed up on July 7th when they put that 2-page memo out saying it's
that was crazy.
That was really bad. And that was on a Sunday night during July 4th weekend with the Texas floods.
Like when Schumer fucked us all when he on a Sunday on the Sunday truce, and we're gonna have another shutdown, aren't we? Are you gonna be with me? Are you gonna support the shutdown?
Oh, I don't know if we're gonna have another shutdown at the end of January. I don't know. I'll support it if we do.
So speaking of
hey, listen, hold on. We got Trump talking about a 2-year extension to the ACA subsidies, even raise the income cap to 700% of the federal poverty level.
It's not going to happen.
If it does happen, because you said that it would never happen.
Well, I mean, the reporting now is that there is no appetite with congressional Republicans. Like they genuinely don't want to budge on that. So
I'm just saying, if you said they would never happen, so if they do budge, I mean, that would be remarkable, wouldn't it?
I would love to be wrong about that, but I mean, speaking of which, Majority Leader Scary Reed in chat said, "Can we get a prediction from Hutch on the Dems and the shutdown fight? What does he want to happen, and what will upset him?" Here's the thing, though. We should talk about this, but like, you have to be prepared to confront the possibility that we live in a reality where the Republican Party will not budge on the ACA, what are they called? Tax credits. Like it is entirely possible that the Democrats cannot force them to take action. And if that is the case, then the next best thing would to have it be as politically damaging as possible for the Republican Party. And I think we're already heading in that direction, because when you looked at the polling after the shutdown fight, it was an enormous plurality of Americans blame Trump and Republicans for these tax credits expiring, which that's the proper blame. That's the appropriate blame. But I think the reason for that is because of that shutdown fight. And so, if that's the best that we can get, great. Like if that's a big deal. If you impact people in that kind of way, that is politically really damaging. That is something that would help us in the midterms. And so that's the benefit of the shutdown fight. And so I just feel like, I don't know where you guys are at, but I just feel like so many people define success in a very singular way. Like the only way they would have called the shutdown fight a success is if they would have got the concessions. But this is kind of like
just like the Tennessee race on Tuesday. It was a failure because we didn't win.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't see it that way. Have you ever seen the movie Troy?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And Paris, the character Paris, played by Orlando Bloom. Yep. At a certain point, the king Menelaus challenges Paris to a fight, and he kind of like runs away a little bit. And I kind of feel like I'm the king whose son is fighting. Fight him, son. Fight him. That's my whole fucking attitude with these Democrats. I want y'all to fight, and I'm tired of this. Maybe we'll fight. We need to fight. All right, we need to fight. We need to push, because if it's the case that IRI is hearing rumblings about the ACA premiums that Trump is interested, isn't that a great time to resume the fight? Now that Trump has said maybe we'll do something on it? Yeah, let's do that.
This week is the vote that they were promised in the Senate. I think Dems are going to put forward a 3-year extension, and let's see if any Republicans get on board. We might get a couple, and then it starts some momentum saying, what are we doing here, man? So I don't know. Let's see what happens after this week is where I'm at.
No, then it's like, okay, then let's go back to the shutdown in January, like you said.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know what's going to happen.
I've never seen you more base, so but that's great.
Hutch brings up a good point. Like nobody was talking about the expiring ACA subsidies until the Democrats picked this fight over the shutdown.
True.
And now it's front and center. And I think people see the Democrats as the leaders of fighting for bringing down the cost of insurance premiums at the very least, if not affordability in general. And that's all because of the shutdown. So I think the shutdown was a huge win. I don't think it was a loss in any way at all. And I give credit to Big Dick Chuck and Hakeem for leading us.
It also
Talk
positions
Schumer.
us. It also positions us well for if we get a trifecta in 2028, because we will reinstate those tax credits, and that's that'll be a huge political W. People will be familiar with the issue, and that's that's something that you can take into the midterms and be like, look what we delivered here. But yeah,
and just to build on your point about how popular this is, I think it's 80-20 to extend the subsidies in general that the people wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all I'm going to say is my healthcare premiums are already doubling, and I think more SNAP recipients should have starved. And so I would not have been satisfied until I had that.
Did you buy your coverage on the individual market?
Yeah, since I'm self-employed, I do it through it's through Medi-Cal technically. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
I got lucky because I get insurance through Esme's employer, which is nice. But before that, I was paying
very cool,
way more on the individual market. That was brutal.
I'm weighing the option of marrying a naturalized citizen that may or may not be deported soon, but it sounds like it might be a good idea.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Mine's going up 20%. It's going to be $750, and I got a silver plan. There's 2 plans above it, and but yeah. So if I'm dealing with this, I know a lot of other people are too, and so this issue is going to drown the Republicans next year if they don't do something. That's why I think Trump may come around. I mean, he changes his mind like that.
Wait, you pay $750 just for you?
Starting next year. Right now, I pay $670 for just me.
Damn. That's a lot because I'm doing 3. Well, maybe my reported income is a lot lower than yours. I don't know. Maybe the TikTok dividends are paying out, but I pay $300 going up to $500. So
I'm above the ACA subsidies. So I cannot buy insurance on ACA. I don't get any subsidies. Yeah, I'm blessed that I'm able to do that. I have that income, but at the same time, it's very expensive. I mean, I could lease a new Audi for $700 a month, man.
That's a very specific.
Speaking of TikTok, does TikTok pay out a lot?
The TikTok coins are garbage, but you get a lot of tips through Venmo. And I also, Venmo, Cash App, people do $5 here, $10 there. Some people do more. Dean and those guys do very, very well with the tips. And I stream on YouTube at the same time. I get a bunch of super chats as well. People want to engage, and I found a way to weave them into the conversations. And I get about anywhere from 700 to 1,000 people watching me. So you're going to make some money with a crowd that size.
Hell yeah.
Wait a second, Hutch. I just got a super chat. So you're unaffected by the insurance hike, right?
No, mine went up 18%, I think.
Wait, really? But don't you get your insurance through
But I think
partner?
I do, but I think I think premiums went up a little bit for most people. It's just that it went up dramatically for people that were relying on the tax credits.
Yeah, mine went up 66%, just to be clear.
So you don't get how people are suffering with these subsidies. You don't truly understand
you
it.
3 sit there in your ivory towers while I suffer here on the ground. No, I think I'll be fine. Don't worry, guys. But
what great super chats.
A lot of people are paying like $200, and now they'll pay, I don't know, $280 or something like that. So yeah, it sucks. It's but I mean, every dollar counts. So I get it.
Yeah. Well, wait. Oh, real quick, last thing. Did you guys see Tim Pool is shutting down his shows?
Wait, officially? I was going to message him.
Yeah, it looks like he's like, well, it takes in more money puts out more money than it takes in. I just can't afford to do it now that Russian government isn't giving me millions of dollars.
Why does this happen where like something like unrelated occurs, like the shooting, whatever?
That's what he cites. He says the security is the primary cost for him, and it's too much to worry about.
Well, maybe don't live in
maybe just downsize.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I think my skate park. I need my skate park, Mom.
How big is that place that he lives at?
It's huge.
Since you've been
it's
like
huge.
a plane hangar. Yeah.
It's an enormous thing.
I think that he's probably just sitting on a fucking mountain of cash, and he's just, I don't know if you guys have watched him recently, but he's been phoning it in for fucking months now. Like he lost, in my opinion, he lost that like fire a long time ago. And I just think like now is like a really difficult time to be a fucking conservative social media news pundit, just because this administration is just so impossible to defend. And I think he's just burnt out.
I don't know. Like when I was there, all his employees were complaining. A bunch of them got laid off. A bunch of them were talking about how they're not paid very much, and he just kept them on as a favor. And it seemed like he was struggling financially, which was very in contradiction with the way that he was like, well, I actually have 2 of the biggest podcasts in America. And it's like, look, he was courteous. He paid for flights. He paid for room and board. And it's like, cool. But like, it seems like he's not very good with money, and also lost a huge financial investor recently. So
that wasn't that
every time I tune into him
recently.
Every time I tune into him recently, he's complaining about other people doing well, like Candace Owens. He's like, I guess if you do, you're willing to do the drama, that's where the money is. But I agree with you, Hutch, that like being on the right is impossible right now. You're defending crazy things from Trump. He changes position all the time. So he's losing across the board. It's not an easy gig for these clowns. So I think a lot of them are just kind of checking out, or
especially
if you're not blaming Israel, what's the fun?
Especially if you have like huge overhead expenses and like payroll, where like I think that there's something to be said about keeping it lean. Have an editor or two, have like a person who helps you, but I don't know, these like massive, especially when like once you have your setup right, like that's all your expenses. It's not like you need to constantly upgrade things. It's not like one of those other jobs where there's like constant huge maintenance that needs to happen for streaming a podcast.
Well, he does weird stuff too. I heard him plugging a game night podcast at some local board and like card store in West Virginia. It's like, what are you doing, bro? You couldn't pay me to go do something like that. And I'm nobody. And he's like, we're going to be doing a show from the gaming store in Westmont, Virginia. What the fuck?
That's part of his inner child. I
broke?
don't know if this happened to you, Pisco, but that was very much like my experience where I got there. And the first thing he did was like,
they're playing Tech Deck dudes in Magic. It's awesome.
Playing Tech Deck and Magic. And like, I want to show you all my stuff. And I'm not shitting on that stuff, but like it didn't feel like an adult who enjoyed things that are marketed to kids. It felt like a kid showing me his toys. And I think that's part of that IRA.
But I will say though that
passion project.
Yeah.
I will say though, like I will not like it if he goes under or if his show stops, because I got a good amount of exposure on those shows and I had a good time on those shows. I liked the live shows. And so
hang on.
Horrible disinformation. Thank God you had a platform on it for 2 seconds, but he's a piece of shit. He deserves to go under. No one should ever have to listen to his stupid fucking takes ever again.
Hang on a second. Hang on.
Shut up though. He's just gonna stop the shows. He's not gonna stop talking.
Bros, he is live right now and he has 26,000 viewers.
If
you are pulling 26,000 viewers and you are in the red, you're doing something wrong. Like this is like that should be insanely lucrative. Like that's around the numbers that I think Ethan gets on his podcast, and he's able to support
your boyfriend.
Yeah, but
he's able to support
IRA and I is Jewish and can handle money.
No.
That's
please tell the audience that you're part Jewish.
That's what I just said.
I didn't hear that part. Okay.
Yeah.
Personal finance it is a skill. I mean, some people don't know what the hell they're doing.
The other thing too is like YouTube has, I don't know if you guys have experienced it, but it seems like YouTube has tweaked their algorithm recently, right? Yeah,
I haven't noticed anything bad.
Yeah, there's
seems like reports of
same
to me.
And like what's getting thrown. Like you're getting suggestions from very small channels of like a couple hundred subscribers, which is good. I like that they're promoting it, but it's also like based on thumbnail click-through rate and like how long you've watched the video in the first like 10 seconds, and like there's a bunch of weird stuff they tweaked a little bit, and I can definitely tell.
Dude, it's tough on YouTube, man, because it feels like the only way to like play the game is to play into the conflict heavily. And I don't love doing that. Like you have to do it, but I really don't love doing that. But it's like anything that's like conflict related is the stuff that gets the most clicks. And I don't know, it feels a little poisonous to my soul doing that, to be quite honest.
Well, my opinions are authentic, but if you look at my top performing videos, especially my Charlie Kirk one, they have the word racist in the title, and those all perform much better. So,
well, but Hutch, I think you're doing great. You have like 1,000 people watching you on YouTube every day, right? Like you're in rare air, I would just stick with that.
Yeah.
On YouTube, well, between YouTube and Twitch, it's like usually like around 800 or 900. Sometimes it's more, but like I got really lucky because I was just doing Twitch for years, and I tried streaming on YouTube one time, and I was doing politics. I got like 50 viewers. I was like, okay, this is a waste of time. And then just for some reason, I was like, you know what, let me try it again, like 6 months later. And when I tried it again that day, I pulled in like 800 viewers. I was like, wait, what the fuck is happening here? And so then so I spent the last like year kind of building up this newer community on YouTube Live, which has been really enormous for me.
Yeah.
Very grateful to have like a new community over there. But on the VOD side of things, though, you do have to do like very clickbaity titles, and if it's more dry kind of stuff, people just don't seem that interested. They don't click on it as much. Yeah,
I'm sure Soy Pill can.
Son owned it, devastating. Sorry, go for it.
Yeah,
it seems like YouTube's different. You can't really take your VODs; they don't do so well. You know, I mean, you can cut them out, but it's like you got to speak directly to the audience, kind of thing. You know.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, it's people are on there for the video essays and the direct engagement, not the live stream VODs or any of that. It's a small portion. It makes me some money, but like I do it because people like watching, not because I'm like, oh boy, like I gotta upload that stream VOD and make my $10,000 in AdSense. Like that's not happening. But some people have perfected it.
I mean, Destiny still does that formula, and it seems to still be working for him. Although I think he's still
I was going to say not after the demonetization, but yeah.
Yeah,
bro. No, there's exceptions, sure.
Anytime you criticize even lightly somebody with like a big fandom, it gets wild, bro. Like it's like my YouTube chat, it like engulfs in flames if I'm even lightly critical of Destiny. I don't know if you guys have noticed this for you guys.
Fair, are you ever lightly
critical
I've never noticed
anyone,
this. Hutch?
I am quite frequently. Yes.
Well, not according to your YouTube thumbnails. It's pretty heavily criticizing, I would say.
Well, I mean, like I've just noticed like it's particularly toxic. Like if I'll upload videos where I'm criticizing Shu and Hassan, and it's like anytime there's like a big fandom or Asmongold, they'll trickle into the video. Like normally, like the first day, it's kind of pushed to your subscribers, and then after that, it's pushed to other people. So then, like after a day, the comments get really. You
just gotta double and triple down and be like, yeah, I meant what I said. When I said it, I know.
I usually do, but yeah.
Oh yeah, and I'd say it again.
Yeah,
say it again to their face.
Quick, say something that good about a big streamer right now as we wrap up.
Ethan Klein lied about his motivation. He's not doing it for the React community. He doesn't think the apology's sincere, and you won't acknowledge it.
What about Hassan dressing up like Mao? And like
yeah, look at me. It's fucking bad and cringe to cosplay as Mao, and it's disgusting. Now you say that about Ethan lying about the motivation. You can't. You can't. That's the difference.
There's something.
And Schumer needs to quit.
There's something that is like profoundly upsetting for me to watch like Hassan be interviewed by literal state media, and he tells them that he said something in a Variety article like his job is basically to criticize power, and if he can't criticize power, then he can't do his job. And then he goes to China and is interviewed by literal state media. Like it just
the Red Book. Oh,
did you see when someone asked him what makes you any different from Tucker Carlson doing this with Russia? He says, "I dress better," and I think it was a joke, but it's also like that can't be the only difference between you and Tucker Carlson, man.
It's also true though, right?
He does
agree it's
better.
true.
I mean,
yeah.
All right. Well, guys, what is going on this week? Hutch, what's going on with you? Who are you inflaming? Which audience are you inflaming this week?
Tomorrow we're going to watch the Piers Morgan, Nick Fuentes conversation, and then whatever else we have time for.
The Morgan Groypers are going to come in and be mad at you for criticizing Piers Morgan, right?
He doesn't have that kind of a fandom, but no. Tomorrow's stream is 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, and I'll see you guys in chat.
All right, Pisco.
So part one of my conversation with Avi Bitterman about the strikes, I'm gonna sort of put up an edit of it. I think it's very useful to watch it. We go through all of like the legal considerations, international and otherwise, and we come to the conclusion about why we think something illegal happened and why we think murder probably happened. And so yeah, I recommend watching that. We're gonna do another like part 2 to that where we talk about the general policy and then also talk about Groyper stuff. So I encourage you all to watch that when we go live on there. And then I talked to Viva Frey and then other conservatives. I'm wrangling. I'm desperately trying to get people to do a debate on the actual either the birthright citizenship issue or the issue of the strikes. And conservatives just don't want to talk about it. I'm doing my best to get Drew Pavlou to accept one of these debates. I'm doing my best to get one of these conservatives, but
Is he
it's
conservative?
tough.
What even is he?
He's now come
Australian.
out as conservative. He's come out as conservative. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. He's like, you got people like Pisco. They made me conservative, and I didn't want to be, but I just want to protect Australia. I want to protect it from the third world. And he's like, also,
That's
by
good.
the way,
That was
would not be accepted by the white nationalists because he's like Mediterranean from like Greece or some shit. And so, you know, he's over there fighting the good fight on behalf of Richard Spencer and
Based.
you know, the One Nation Party in Australia.
Great. Perfect. All right. All right.
I'm just on my TikTok grind. So if you guys want to get some insight into the mind of MAGA, then come on over. You can watch on my YouTube. You don't have to have a TikTok account. So that's in the mornings.
That's
I
where
try
I
to start
watch.
around 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. And what about you, Soy Pill? What are you up to, buddy?
Nothing crazy. Wednesday, I think I am debating the boat strikes with a friend of the head of the TPUSA. Is like one of the, you know, if
What the
that's
fuck?
how far you got to go down to.
Wait a second.
make it on the right
Wait.
or conservative.
How did you get that?
Because okay, so I know the TPUSA head at Berkeley, and his friend, who I just ran into on the street at that Rob Schneider thing, was very articulate. Despite being wrong about everything. So we're like, oh, cool. Finally, a conservative who can come up and debate about this. You want to come up on Wednesday. So he agreed to do that. So that's how you get one. You go out on the street, you find the craziest person getting yelled at by all the left wingers, and then you pick them.
I should have done that. Fuck.
But I did have something. I don't know. Other than Hutch, I know you're a gamer. Pisco, IRR, you guys gamers?
I game.
You game?
No, I don't game. Sorry.
Ugh, disgusting. You're not one of us. Anyway.
Arc Raiders?
Half-Life 3 on the 11th. Is
Wait,
it happening?
Is that announced?
Are they going to announce it? I don't know. But I'm
Heavily-
thinking
No
about
way.
streaming the Game Awards because I'm fucking full of hopium right now, and I want it to
Heavily rumored. Yeah, heavily rumored.
I didn't play Half-Life Alex. I don't have a gamer VR set.
Pisco,
It's
if it's announced,
pretty
I am
wild.
marathoning in VR all the Half-Life because I am hype. All right,
I think the dialogue's a little corny, but it's a fun little series.
Oh my god, get out of here with your Half-Life.
You
At
guys-
least I had the decency to say I just don't game. You're out here being
Doc,
like, actually, I
Doc.
don't like Half-Life. Jeez.
You guys got to get on the you guys got to get in on the Arc Raiders grind. It's
I have a voice actor friend who said I shouldn't support it because they use AI voices in that game. So
wait, did your friend actually say that, or are you fucking with me?
No, Judy Alice.
You shouldn't support it because
is
it's not
the-
union.
Yeah.
No.
that
No, but this was like this was like really ethical use of AI because they paid these voice actors for the right to use their voice.
That's not what my friend says.
Yeah, I've heard some other things about that.
Wait,
He's in the
what?
industry, but I don't want to get in all
That's not what my friend says.
So,
Wait, what? Is there something
Yeah.
else that I'm missing?
I've heard it's a little more sketchy than that, and it's a little you know, it's a little more like James Earl Jones being like AI Darth Vader when it's his family is like, oh, we just want some money, you know. But
Oh wait, last thing on Ethan, but it relates to what you just said. This isn't because I'm anti Ethan. He's also suing Nvidia for AI stuff, and it's pure coincidence. It's not because I'm against Ethan on this other thing. Right now, I'm leaning in favor of the AI people being fair use, so I'm also probably against Ethan in that lawsuit. So that'll be fun. But yeah, AI shit we need new laws to deal with these AI shit because like IP just doesn't work with a lot of these new techs, and we just need like a better framework. I don't know what that framework is, but the current shit, it is way out of date. We need to update it, both for, by the way, reaction type stuff where there isn't a settled case law on a lot of shit, and then also on the AI front. It's crazy.
all right, well, awesome, guys. Today was great. Have a good one. Check all these guys out, and we will see you next week.